Let's see here. Well, we all know Dark Optimus is addicted to mayonnaise. It's one of his things. I think he has a 12-step program that he goes to because of it.
Yeah, I think K Mega needs to turn off that weather report he's going on in the background. Turn off that Rachel Mattire. What's her name?
Rachel Maddow. Man, you need to watch that. That's that real shit right there.
Oh my goodness. So Mega, you're really hooked on that Telltale Batman right now, man?
Yeah, man. I'm hooked. I mean, I can't wait. I'm going to get this second one here when I come back tomorrow. Later on tonight when I come back from seeing that stupid clown movie.
Hold on. You're going tonight to see it?
Yes.
Dude, that's the only thing that's going to be in your head afterwards, yo.
Man, I'm going to try to conquer my fear, man. I'm going to go watch it.
Dude, was it your decision or did Mrs. Mega?
No. She don't like watching scary movies, but she wants to come support me because of the fact that I've avoided all these. I've been tired of people harassing me about clowns for so many years.
Yo, Mega, we need a Facebook live stream of that. Yo.
No. So real news. So we're gonna get a hold of her and have her put it on your background on your Xbox. So when you get back from that, you can't escape that shit.
No, fuck that. The Xbox get destroyed. So, no, it's just long overdue, man. I mean, gotta
do it, man. Gotta do it.
Get it over with, man. So
you know
I've been hating clowns since I was 5 years old.
So it's not from the TV series from like 1990, man?
No. It's been since when I went to the circus and I just had a bad experience with a clown, man. That motherfucker wouldn't leave me alone. He kept wiggling his nose and grabbing me and shit, man. It just was horrible. And I hate clowns.
Mega, is that what he called it? He called it his nose, Mega? Is that what he called it?
I thought he was going to say the clown tried to diddle me, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude!"
No, come on, man. They're just evil. They're evil people, man. You know what I'm saying? If Trump said
they're evil.
Trump said he was going to build a wall to get rid of fucking clowns, I would have been all about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotta say this pregame is going amazing right now.
I knew you had me on the
pregame. Everybody in the chat.
Fuck a clown. Clowns are evil.
K Mega is
honestly, it's not that scary though. It's not that scary.
I'm not. I watch scary movies, so I mean, it's just going to be emotional for me because it's a clown, and I don't like fucking with clowns.
Everybody, keep K Mega in your prayers tonight because he is going to confront.
I'm going to face my fear. Yes. I'm a man.
Toe to toe with Pennywise. Yo, what's up?
Shit. I'm gonna be drunk as fuck when I walk in there.
Well, guys, I'm actually I'm really excited for this show because I was telling Pred and Don when they got into the hangout or whatnot. I was like, man, this got to be like the first podcast in like 2 weeks where Destiny 2 is not a topic or a headline, man.
Well, you just mentioned it.
No,
you already blew it.
Fuck. So on that note, man, I'm gonna try to go in hard on Destiny 2 tonight. I got to. I'm seeing everybody and their numbers, and it's really pissing me off right now on Twitter. Like, you know what? Fuck you guys. Fuck all y'all. All right.
Like I said, I refuse to pay any money on it.
Dude, I am hoping somebody gets that game for you, just so like then you kind of feel obligated to play it, man.
Well, I mean, look, I want to play it. I mean, it's just like I admitted to something on GRG last night that I like for all these little giveaways and little, Destiny 2, giveaways. I've been on every one trying to get it, but I'm not going to go against what I said. I'm not buying the game. I'm just not.
Stick to your word, man. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm a man of my word. I'm not buying the game. You know what I'm saying? I've even said that, like, if it gets down to like $30, something like that, I cop it. But I got burned too hard on the first one. So, I mean, I'll play it with people, but it's just...
To be honest with you, you're not the first one. Like, I look at my list of people I knew before podcasting that I knew from Destiny 1, and only one of like 30 of my friends list bought it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, new people, a lot of new people are playing it. Don't get me wrong, right? But people that are like, I knew there were day one buyers. They're just like, they feel pretty similar to you. They weren't on board at all.
Well, I played the first couple levels, man. I thought I was pretty proud of myself, like coming off the first like couple missions or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
My whole level 5 with like 15 power. I'm like, yeah, all right, I did pretty good today. And then I look on Twitter. I'm like, you know what? Fuck everybody. All right, screw all you people. I'm staying off Twitter like all day.
Yeah. So I just, you know, it is what it is. It's not like I said, I never hated the game. I felt burned by the first one. I mean, I spent all that money for it, and it's just sitting in my waiting to install list because it's pretty much useless. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no. You know
Yo, Mega, as the founder of the show and everything, I just gotta let you know, Free Jack 4K in the chat says he's really been enjoying GRG with like exclamation points at the end and everything, man. You guys
word.
You guys are killing it over there, yo.
Well, appreciate it, man. Just, you know what I'm saying? We it's always good for the whole crew to get there and we could all chop it up. But you know, we ran kind of small last night, but I mean, it was the topics that we talked about was pretty good, man. And when I started talking about God of War and my concerns with it triggered some people, man. It was pretty funny. So yeah. But I had somebody in the comment section afterwards calling me a dumbass and stuff. I mean, it's only my opinion. I mean, I'm still going to support it, but it was pretty funny.
God of War.
Well, it was a topic that I brought up. It was regarding the one of the developers. They was having an interview and they were saying that the combat was going to be like FIFA, which was kind of weird.
What?
But okay. Well, basically, long story short, because he went in full detail about like the FIFA game and things like that. But long story short, he was basically saying that the QTEs, which everybody loves, is pretty nostalgic, and they're finna try to go another direction with that. And I mean, that is what God of War is founded off of, is those QTEs.
Oh yeah, when you do the executions on the bigger monsters and stuff. Yo,
right. So basically, he's saying the fighting is it will be there, and the game will be very brutal. It'll be brutal than you've ever seen it, but it's the fact that the fighting is not going to be like you are accustomed to it, and it's going to be more story driven. And to me that you know what I'm saying? I mean, the God of War's stories has been epic. I mean, Ascension was the worst one, but the story was still cool. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, it's just that the gameplay and then them trying to do the multiplayer aspect of it was the terrible thing of it. But God of War, for the most part, talking about, you know, Greek mythology was absolutely epic. So, you know, there's NORAD, how do you say that? Norse mythology. Yeah. That's going to be cool, but to me, it's like PlayStation is going on this whole thing because of the success of The Last of Us and Heavy Rain and all these other games that they're more story driven. They're going to try to do that with God of War, and my point was like God of War is one of those games that if you want to just take out your frustration, just pick something up, kick some ass, and just have a good time with it. That's what God of War is for. Why change that premise?
It's a Michael Bay story, not God of War, right? It's not like this meaningful, make you rethink life sort of product, right? It's
right
action, beat 'em up, and that is the story of God of War. It's just wrecking havoc. I don't like the kid tag along, man. God of War is one of my favorite franchises on PlayStation, and the whole kid mentality. Like I was gonna like give it a shot. Let's see what's going on. And then after a year later, they just showed more and more of that kid being involved.
Hearing that kid is kick ass though. Like
I don't care.
I'm not
babysitting.
I mean,
I'm not babysitting. I'm playing a game. Exactly.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. It's just I'm less interested in the game.
Why didn't you put this in as a topic, man?
I don't know. I didn't know that you wanted to, you know what I'm saying, double dip. I mean, because I'll double dip all the time. It doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying, to me. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it was a great point to bring up, because the guy was basically telling the fan base that, look, we're taking away one of the best. We're you'll still have them, but they won't be like you used to see them, which was the QTEs. And we're going to make this game more story driven, which means that they're going to take away from the combat. You know what I'm saying? That's why that that overview like they got that looks like Last of Us kind of has that Rise, but they're not going to implement the action like Rise does. And then everybody, the panel didn't agree with me, but they were like, well, you seen the previews where they cutting up people and they're cutting up the creature and they cut them in half. I said, yeah, that's dope. But I said, how many times are you going to do that in the game? And especially if this game is going to be more story driven, they're going to be more focused on the story, and they're going to take away, the parts that I love God of War for. And I brought up the part about the scene with the Leviathan, you know what I'm saying, where he came out, and I talk about how excited I got, like, oh shit, like he's gonna really, I can't wait to kill this fucking big,
and he started talking to you.
Snake. Yeah, and the damn thing, I come to help you and your son follow the key. What? Motherfucker, what? I got to kill you. You know what I'm saying? I want to kill you. These graphics look so dope, and you over here telling me, I want to help you. The key is here. And he spits out a fucking key. Like, what are you talking about? So I was pretty disappointed in that. But
see, this is why I am completely happy that, like, when it comes to Uncharted, when it comes to God of War and stuff like that, I usually always had like the other console. I had the Dreamcast, I had the original Xbox, the 360. So I never really got into those franchises and stuff. So I'm coming like as a new person to this whole thing, and like I'm excited to see what they're doing with the new God of War. I've only played God of War 3 remastered so far on the PS4. And with them changing the camera and stuff like that, I'm actually for that, because the camera angle in God of War 3 was a pain in my ass, because I left chests and stuff like that to go back to that had health when I didn't need health and stuff like that. And it was a pain in the ass to go back there. So changing the camera angle for me, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm down for that. So it's cool to hear like people who have played the game, went through the franchise and stuff, and hear your guys' gripes. And I feel like I'm happy that I'm coming in with a different perspective as somebody who hasn't like really gotten involved in those titles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's the one thing though. I mean, you may be into that, and there seems like a lot of people are going to be going to be comfortable with that. But that just spells one thing for me: is that going to be less enemies to fight? Because that's,
I heard that too.
Yeah, because over the top you had enemies coming at you at all different places. Well, they're not going to be enemies coming at you at that type of way, and which is telling me is that you're gonna fight enemies, but are you going to be able to kill those enemies like you could before? And from what the sounds of it is, by saying that those QTEs are nostalgic, it doesn't sound like that to me, and it's crazy. And again, it's a reboot. You know what I'm saying? Because never at one time did they said that this is God of War 4. They just call it God of War. So they're going a whole nother direction with it.
Yeah, I got you, man. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, like hanging around with YouTubers and stuff like that when they pick up on stuff like Mega picked up on that. I haven't heard too many other people say that, but yeah, like say a lot of people are just calling it like God of War 4, and you're like, nah, man, hold on. It doesn't say that. They're rebooting that shit.
Yeah, so I mean, but it's all good. I mean, I'm going to still get God of War. I'm going to support that game because it's one of my favorite franchises, like Don said, and I'm going to support it. But I don't think it's going to be a day one buy. I think I'm going to wait first.
I think the real question is, are you going to pick up Sonic Forces on November 7th? That's the real.
Absolutely. You know what? That was a top. I should have brought that up, but man, I got caught up into Batman playing 2K.
That shit looks crazy.
That's why I ain't giving no gameplay because I've been bouncing back. I'm past
playing games and not playing out gameplay.
Just killing them, killing it. So but yeah, there was I can ask you now before we get the show started, because there was an article that was talking about Sonic Forces and asking how important is this regarding the Sonic franchise. You know what I'm saying? I think that the success of this game is going to probably dictate what happens with the Sonic franchise overall, because they have spent a lot of money in this game.
It'll dictate,
and it looks great. It looks great.
It'll dictate it in a certain way, right? Because they have been trying to go 3D for a while, ever since like the Dreamcast, right? And every time they do it, up until like the last Sonic that came out on the 360, I forget its name, but they had the classic Sonic with the 3D Sonic. They did that well. It just didn't sell great. I feel like this title is really important for the 3D Sonic, because if this doesn't do well, then they'll just go retro for the rest of the time. I feel like they'll just constantly make a 2D one, which, if you notice from Sonic Mania, that must have overachieved what they expected.
Hey, Bot, let's do this, because as soon as you talk about Sonic, that the podcast.
Yeah, I'll go on for like an hour.
Yeah, like let's just do this.
So you're trying to say you're ready? You're ready to check out the intro? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Let's go.
We got to.
What's going on, people, and welcome to another episode of the next podcast. Guys, as you can tell, sometimes, our pregame can go a little long. We are actual gamers here. We love talking about games. We have a bunch of topics lined up for you, and of course, we have part of the family coming back after doing his duty. And when it comes to the intros, I'm going to intro this man first, and I am going to call him a hero on the panel just for what he does, how he went and he helped people in Houston and everything like that. I know I call him the assassin of the gaming media, but today it's all about like his service to us and how much we appreciate it. So I am proud to introduce again on the show, Predator.
My bad. I didn't know I was muted.
I was like,
he was saving kittens.
Dude, Pred, somebody had to do it, man. I'm happy this time.
You'll do it later. Don't worry.
What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Glad to be back on, man. I don't need any praise for my job, man. But I appreciate the support I've gotten from the fans out there who hit me up, and they appreciated the stuff that I had to go do in Houston and my deployment earlier this year. So, I'm here, man. I'm happy to be back, man. I feel like I haven't done a podcast in forever. It's probably been like 3 weeks almost since I've been back on the show. So, glad to be back. We got some good topics today, so you guys tune in and listen up. We got some shit to talk about today.
Nice. And we know Predator has that energy, man, because he's finally gotten some home cooking and stuff like that, and he is.
Oh yeah.
He is good to go tonight.
Yeah.
Next on the list is that guy. When it comes to his Destiny 2 character, he's just looking for the light red shaders. Of course, I'm talking about Dark Go Blue.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Glad to be here tonight.
You like how I said light red and not pink, right?
Yeah, man, that was good.
All right, man. You were kind of quiet in the pregame. Is that everything going okay, man? Like,
No, I'm just not feeling good tonight.
Oh, all right. Well,
but I'm here.
Since you're not feeling well, I am really going to put the pressure on you to talk even more. So just get ready, okay?
All right, man.
All right. Next on the list, coming live from the 405. And he's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. My brother, K Mega.
What's going on? I'm doing it live over here. But, man, I'm telling you this right now. No lie. Anytime that these Batman Telltale games come out, I'm buying them day one, and I want to be a part of them. I'm going to start doing some stuff, maybe even a podcast talking about it. I had no idea that this game was this good. I cannot wait to buy this other one. I guess with the Riddler supposed to be in it or something. I don't know, but this one right here, I'm like two episodes away from being done. I just got finished with 3. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. Damn, good job, Telltale.
Yo, Mega. See, when times like this, man. When what was the other game before this one that you were hooked on? I believe it's a free game on Xbox.
Yeah, I'm still hooked on Path of Exiles. I'm like
Path of Exiles, man. See,
yeah,
this.
I'm 30. I got to catch up to Mikey Barra before me and him can play. I got to be a 72, so I got work to do.
Doug, and I hope you don't get offended about this. I don't think you will, but to hear your excitement, no, check this out. To hear your excitement about games like that, man, that's what I love about this show, about this panel. Like when it comes down to it, we talk gaming news, we talk about when media is going in on Xbox and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, to hear that just general excitement for something that like you're getting into and stuff, that's like the heart of being a gamer right there, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, it's just what it's all about. I mean, I play all different types of things, and yeah, I do skip around a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's what I do. But if something grabs me, like games like Witcher 3, this, and other games that I've played beforehand, you know what I'm saying? The Mighty Tekken, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, goodness.
I'm all on
right,
it.
Mute him. He said the T word. Now I'm just.
You should have muted him before he said Tekken.
Oh shit! Here we go.
But
dude, we got a lot of topics, man. I can't wait to hear your opinions on this. This is gonna be a great show tonight, yo. And here we go. Next on the list, and I know you guys know who's next, cause your lights are flickering. It's time to stand up, show that respect, kiss that ring. The Don.
Hey, not only are your lights flickering, you have lens flares like a J.J. Abrams film or Destiny. Either one, take your pick. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm so glad Predator's back. He doesn't want to make a big deal out of what he does, but the reality is he does service, and he does it in our time of needs. And call him a hero or not, it's a real sacrifice what he has to do and his family. So I'm glad to have him back. So
yeah, he might not make a big deal, but we definitely will. All right, that's the way it's gonna go, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's really it's the brighter side of what our military does, right? And what they're involved with, and taking care of our own and that sort of thing, and in a time of need, like. Can't understate that's a big deal.
No, definitely. That's something that actually should probably get talked about more. A lot of times when it comes to the military and stuff like that, I know there's a lot of people that give respect to the military, all that good stuff, but I feel like when it comes to the news and stuff, like they really bypass those things that the military does for the population in terms of service and helping people, and I feel like they really need to bring that to the forefront a little bit more.
Well,
big. I was just gonna say, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say.
I would say it's also a family job, right? Like it's not just Predator, right? Like it's a big deal. Predator's always got to be away from his family and stuff like that. And the support. I don't know Predator's wife, but like it takes a strong woman to support somebody.
It's funny, dude. My wife, she's in the military too, and like.
Oh, so she knows how it is.
Yeah, she knows how it is. So like, it's like when this whole Houston thing happened, it was kind of like you going or am I going? So we had to pick and choose. And since I don't know how I ended up going, she ended up not having to go in the first place, and so they ended up sending.
She made a couple phone calls. She's like, "Yo,
yeah, right." And where she works, she probably has that kind of power. She didn't want me. If she didn't want to go, she probably could have gotten out of it. But I didn't have a choice in the matter. But if she wanted to go, and actually, I was going to let her go this time because I just got back from that deployment. So coincidentally, she ended up not being able to go, and they ended up sending me instead. So, it is what it is. But you're right, you guys. It's hard on the military families and stuff like that when stuff like this happens. Luckily, I was only gone for a short amount of time on this one, so it's all good. But helping out with my fellow Texans out here, it's always a plus. It's the first time I've actually had an opportunity to assist within the state versus having to go overseas and do something else. So.
Nice. That had to be kind of refreshing, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this support we got from them. I mean, if you've ever been to Texas, man, like we're a family. Even though like each city has its own different thing, As Texans, we have a lot of pride here, but when we're actually able to go out and help other Texans, they really appreciate the help.
Well, I thank you for the invitation, Pred. So next time I'm going to talk to O-Snaps, and we're going to get the family together. I hope you have a couple rooms for us, and we're going to come down and visit you for a couple weeks, man.
Oh, man, anytime. A couple of days. We'll kick you out. But yeah.
Wait, you said a couple of rooms? You don't need a second house. His family's huge.
Yeah, I got twins and I got 10 kids, man.
Well, if you ask Dark, he says 17 kids.
25.
Oh, man.
25 now.
Oh, well, 25, they won't even let you in Utah. That's way too many.
But like I said, guys, we got a bunch of topics. I have a feeling I want to start off a little bit light. It's something with the game Fortnite and a little addition, a little game mode. And I'm gonna start with I'm definitely gonna start with Predator here because this game mode is a PUBG style. I actually forgot the term that they used for it, but basically battle royale mode, or genre. They have the actual official name for the genre now. But Fortnite put in. You could go into Fortnite right now if you have it. You could go into a 100-player server, basically dropping you in on the map, doing everything that PUBG does. The border closes in over time. The only thing that's different is with Fortnite, you can build stuff. So they have that in the game. I got to ask Pred, because he is a huge PUBG fan. Yo, Pred, what do you think about this addition to Fortnite? Is it something that possibly interests you, man?
I'm not even interested in Fortnite whatsoever. I've heard people, I know you hyped it up, and I've heard other people hype it. I was listening to a podcast last night, and they were like, everyone's talking about this game. You got to get it. And then they said they got it, and it sucked. So, it's just, I'm not into that crafting building. If I'm going to play a shooter, with the exception of, Halo and maybe even Destiny now, I'd much rather play a more realistic military shooter. And PUBG kind of fulfills that. You drop in, you do, you pick up your gear and you survival of the fittest, basically. I've not been interested in Fortnite, so I don't really see that mode being something I'm interested in because I'm not even interested in the game. So much rather play PUBG. As popular as that game is going to be, it seems like it's going to be when it hits Xbox One X. So I think it's just going to overshadow whatever Fortnite and pretty much whatever anybody else is going to do, because I know H1Z1 is it has a similar game mode in it, but I think because PUBG is kind of crossing over into the platform side, you're going to see a lot of people mimicking this. I know Ghost Recon is coming out with something here in the future, or at least they're looking into it, a mode similar to it. So when I've talked about it in the past, I've always talked about this being a game mode that happens to be a game. But I can see, a Call of Duty doing this, a Battlefield doing something like this in the future. But everyone's going to always remember PUBG for what it's done going forward. So
Dude, you actually kind of tapped into my second question for you, man, because I was going to try to maybe paint a broader stroke here. Now, you mentioned Ghost Recon Wildlands because they're adding that mode to that as well. You got Fortnite. You said you can see Call of Duty doing this and such. PUBG hasn't even come to console yet. Do you think this is really going to catch on major in terms of a game mode? And do you think it might be a little bit premature, seeing that console gamers, if they don't have a PC, they haven't even really gotten their hands on this type of game mode yet? Yeah.
I do and I don't. We'll see what PUBG, because people watch it a lot. People are excited about getting this game. We have people on the other console, as they say for us Xbox guys, they call it the other console. You have people on the other console looking for it and trying to get this game on their console. And you have people like ourselves who've not played it unless you have a PC, but you watch Mike Ybarra play it, you watch everybody else play it. It's something we want. So the game mode of PUBG, that's basically what I call it. It's a mode. It's something you could probably insert into any other game and it would be just a game mode. However, it's just a game for PUBG. I think its downfall is going to be that they don't keep it updated. Right now, it's fun. I play it all the time, but the maps are the same. You have different weather elements. It's more or less, what are you going to find? Yeah, it's putting in fog and vaults. And the game's not complete yet. Again, it's still in an alpha beta phase, whatever. But but it's a mode. It's a $30 game mode that they have to continuously add content to keep it fun. 'Cause every game I play in there it's the same, but it's different. Like you might land in a different spot, you might land with a different group of members, you might find different gear. But at the end, your whole goal is to survive and kill everybody else in the game on the same map until they can, like, broaden that out a little bit and make it snow maps, different game modes besides just 4v4, 1v everybody, 2v2, whatever it is. But like until they can expand from that, I think at some point in time, it's going to be fun in the beginning. It's going to be one of those games you play a lot in the beginning, and then over about a year, it's going to be something. Unless they update it, you're not going to play it. So
okay.
I can see this game mode taking off, this battle royale mode taking off with other games that are more popular. And because you see how popular it is on Steam, so obviously you're going to get people like Fortnite, Ghost Recon. They want to cash in on that mode.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
That's where it's going now. So
I do want to say to the chat, because Predator, he's been gone for a few weeks or whatnot. When I talk to him, we might have a tendency to wander off a little bit, because with him talking about PUBG, he missed the show when we were talking about when they dropped the price, right? When they let it be known that on Xbox it's going to be $30, same as on PC, and even though it's in game preview, that price isn't going to change. Now, Predator, what you've said about PUBG in terms of it being a game mode, all that good stuff, do you feel that $30 is a good price point for this, and for them not to bump it up afterwards? Do you feel this is a good decision, good price point for people on console, man?
Oh yeah, especially since it's a game preview. I think that's like standard for game preview games anyway, to drop about $30. It's worth it. I mean, from what I played on PC, I love it. It's a fun game, and honestly, because I don't have a lot of PC friends, I've been playing with a bunch of randoms, and it's fun with randoms. So I know it's going to be fun with people I actually know when I get it on the Xbox. So,
that's something you don't hear too often. Fun with randoms. Oh my goodness.
Some randoms. Let me put it that way.
You went back and changed that real quick. Some
randoms, but I mean, like for the most part, if it's you have a headset, it's a decent game, because everybody wants to win. There's only one goal in the whole entire game, is to be the last people standing. So you all, everyone I've played with, for the most part, unless you get some stupid ass kid in there, but for the most part, we're all talking, we're all coordinating, we're all doing movements and maneuvers and stuff like that together as a team. And that's what the whole game is about. If you can do that with a bunch of randoms, I'm sure once I get into a group with a bunch of guys I know, that it will be 10 times funner than it is right now on PC for me. And I love it on PC.
All right, I got you, man. Let's go on down the list here. Let's go to K Mega, because we're talking Fortnite, and I know he definitely wants to talk about this. Got a lot of experience in it and whatnot. So, Mega, what do you think about this PUBG mode in Fortnite? What do you think it can possibly do for this game? And to me, it's a little weird, because this game is going to be free to play, next year. So this is like we're in kind of like uncharted waters here. But what do you think this mode is going to do for Fortnite? And does it interest you, man? Are you thinking about possibly getting it before it goes free because of this?
I think the ship just sailed. You know what I'm saying? Because the situation. I bought it and got rid of it without even playing it. And so I think for me, it's one of those things where this is going to be the norm for a lot of games that are trying to catch fire. Just look at Overwatch, and then you start seeing Paladins and a whole bunch of other games that kind of has that similar look to Overwatch. So for whatever how Fortnite is doing it, they know that PUBG is the big dog, the big fish right now. So they want to implement on that while it's hot. And I mean, it's smart. And if people like that and enjoy it, that gives another feature or another mode to where people can feel validated for their purchase. I don't have a problem with it so much. I mean, I will definitely, download the game when the game becomes free. But as for right now, for me, I've just kind of moved on from the situation. So yeah.
Cool. To me, that's the interesting twist when it comes to Fortnite. Like, you can't really approach it the same, because you know, they went ahead and they kind of grabbed the bull by the horns. They're like, well, yeah, it's working for PUBG. I know Ubisoft announced, you know, this type of mode for Ghost Recon Wildlands, but to have like kind of like this developer come out of nowhere and be like, hey, we got that here too. The only twist to that is the free to play, you know, after a year. Do you think that like doing this now and then it going free to play next year, do you think that's going to increase kind of like the active player base, the longevity of Fortnite as a whole, man?
Yeah, because they're going to add more modes. They're going to add more modes before, you know what I'm saying, and way before that time. So it's just right now that this is something that they want to just get people's attention. I mean, we're talking about it right now. So, and I think
right?
Yeah, and if the game was still the same, this game probably wouldn't be talked about, or it would probably lose a lot of players at this point in time because, you know, people have already played it. The big hitters are coming down toward this fall, so you know and then PUBG is coming, so that's, you know, a lot of people are going to move away from that game. So if this gets people to stay and keep playing on their game, keep them relevant, then I think it's a win for them.
Nice. All right, let's hit somebody who has the game. Don, have you tried out this new game mode yet, man, on Fortnite? Just before we get into any more questions here.
I haven't yet. I've heard rumblings about this game mode on this game before the game was even released.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I've heard it actually before even E3. So I know they've been working on it for quite a while. I know the perception is, hey, they just whipped this out in a week, and PUBG did it, and like games don't work that way. Like PUBG is still in beta, right? Like obviously, if it was that easy, they would have their game out full bore, but it's not, right? So. You know, the Epic's been working on it for a while. I'm sure it was inspired by H1Z1 and PUBG. You know, can't deny that they've had some sort of influence on it. But to be honest with you, I'm more excited about this than PUBG. Because there's more to Fortnite. I feel like, far as play mechanics.
Okay.
They cater to that style of game, like with the whole building of the forts and stuff like that. It adds an extra layer of gameplay that PUBG just kind of doesn't have.
Yeah, like fortify your own area and build that shit up, and then have people try to come and like kill you there, right?
Exactly. Or you got something else where like PUBG's got, you know, vehicles and things like that. So obviously both games got their own thing that make it what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the game on itself has got its own uniqueness. Is fine. I don't think it's going to catch fire like PUBG or anything like that. But, you know, back, I think, to Pred's point, to like this is a mode that you're going to see on a lot of games. It's not much different than Horde mode. We've seen Horde mode start on Gears, and then you see these wave-based, like, cooperative gameplay elements applied to all these different games afterwards, right?
Yeah, it's a part, like, I mean, it is a business after all, and it is a part of the evolution of gaming as well. If something is successful, you know, on one side, people try to either mimic it or even make it that much better. So,
yeah, well, you saw it on Gears first, right? So then you see it on Call of Duty with the zombies things, right? Mm-hmm. Then after that, you see it in Halo with Firefight, right? It becomes a main staple with these big multiplayer franchises, and you can look at Play Firefight, for example, right? I know you and me both play Firefight quite a bit, right? Mm-hmm. And you compare Firefight to Horde, both have evolved completely differently from one another because they're different style of games, even though they started off with the same basic concept.
Yeah.
And so this is what excites me about this particular genre that we're seeing, that really that PUBG is really kind of put it into the mainstream. Is you start seeing these other games that are just different games, right? Mm-hmm. But when you implement that multiplayer style, the game becomes its own thing. And so to me, it's exciting. I'm not excited about PUBG. People want to play PUBG. Great for them. I know it's going to be a huge success, probably a bigger success than any game that I'm making personally myself right now, right? But I'm more excited about the Fortnite version than I am PUBG.
Okay.
at the end of the day, because I like the play mechanics of it. So
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, different strokes for different folks. There's a bunch of, when it comes to the gaming community, a bunch of different personalities. Certain people like certain things, other people like something different. I do want to say, I want to go off a little bit, man. Are you close to any type of announcement when it comes to the game that you're developing right now?
had some fun stuff happen this week. There's basically 3 major publishers that are interested for different reasons.
Nice.
And it may go from independent to a much bigger project, which is not what I was expecting. And I will say, and I'll tell the audience what I told the publishers. I'm going to hold off for basically about a year this time, and I want to polish the game so it has its own identity before I start bringing a lot extra staff in. And so the staff is inspired by the game, the foundation that's already there.
All right, let's just be honest here. You need that extra year to really flesh out the character Xbot in your game, right? And I have to do like the facial animations and stuff like that for you as well. Let's be real.
Everyone's asked for their own mode. K Mega wants a Tekken mode where everyone's like oily. And all you do is hit an A button. And Crap Gamer wants a mode where you just walk in and just punch people in the back of the head and they don't shoot back, right? So
punch people in the back of the head, and also a media player plays. That would be perfect.
So, but no, things are going very, very well. There's been a lot of interest. I've met a lot of people. This last week was probably the most interesting group of people that I've ever seen together, both actually in the movie industry and game industry. Talking about the possibility of the project. So, different publishers bring different things to the table. It's not just about the cash. It's about what they can offer. Yeah. So it's fun. It's interesting. Who knows? Pimp Cup may fold into another studio and evolve into something else, or it may have a life of its own, but it is going quite well, and I could not be happier the way things are going right now. So
nice. When you can update us, definitely update us, because I feel this is fascinating. Like we're not in the industry per se, we're reporting stuff that's coming out and stuff like that. But to hear kind of like the process going on and stuff, I'm very interested in this. And I can't wait to see how this kind of evolves for you, man, and for the game itself.
Man, I took a big risk, and then I've taken a totally different approach. I'm trying to approach it with AAA quality game, but done independently. Mm-hmm. And hoping I would catch people's attention, and it started to happen. So it's beyond my expectations. So.
Nice. And let's get the quiet one involved here. Mr. Dark Optimus, man, what do you think about this quote-unquote PUBG mode in Fortnite? Does it have your attention? Are you interested in the game? Do you have Fortnite? Because I forget if you have it or not, man.
Yeah, I have the game simply because I game share with Remix, but I have no interest in this PUBG game mode that they got going on. I had no interest in Fortnite in the first place. Just wasn't my style of game. I don't like building things, and like Minecraft, I don't like doing all that crap. I just want to go in there, shoot some people, and get out. For it to kind of go into more of like a PUBG style type of game mode, I mean, it could definitely be potentially good for the game to generate some more people to come in and actually play it. Because I know right now it's kind of like dead on arrival. But I think...
How is it dead on arrival, man? They sold crazy when that game first came out, and I believe it's still got an active user base. See, that's the thing.
But I don't think it has a huge active user base like, PUBG or something like that. So I think that this game could potentially get that with this game mode, which will be good for the people who bought it and play it and
I'm just hearing sour grapes from you right now. You're like, I'm not interested in this shit whatsoever. But
I have no interest in Fortnite. No, yeah.
Oh man, well my level 2 ninja, I haven't played in a while. It's funny, like I think about it. About playing the game when I start up my Xbox, but then I either go to Sonic or something like that. Like, I still have interest in playing the game, but
you just don't have interest in playing it right now.
yeah, it's weird, man. Sometimes games get put in that category, kind of like in my head. It's like, yeah, I really want to play this. I start up my system, and now with us having Destiny 2 and me really trying that out and seeing if I like kind of like, you know, what Bungie's bringing to the table with that game. Like, I have no idea when I'm gonna jump back into Fortnite, but
You're not.
I like the game though, man. I really do like the game. I had a lot of fun with Snaps with it, and you know, from the beginning, I was playing with Blades and the Don at one point in time. Used that as gameplay. Me, Blades, and the Don were fucking killing it in that game, man. We're taking out like groups and hordes of those zombies. It was pretty freaking awesome.
Well, think about that game. That game is so much fun with 4 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you put 100 people into a game like that?
Yeah, but
like,
it's 100 adversarial though. Like,
yeah, but it doesn't matter if you're, you know, but still, like, it's the whole crafting element with multiple people, the craziness that can happen with the crafting. Oh, like, I'm looking at it from a pure mechanics standpoint. Like, just there's going to be nothing else like it in that category. You know what I mean? Like, and then the answer, I think it was Dirty J's question about mooch mode in my game. It would basically be a Cliffy B popping up in the corner of the screen like that little dog that laughed at you in Duck Hunt. It would just be taunting the mooch at all times. That's pretty much would be the mooch mode right there.
Started laughing at you.
Just laughing at him, pointing at him, maybe pulling up his tweets. You know, who knows what it is, but
I can see that.
no one's getting a special mode, guys. No one's getting a special mode. Maybe putting you guys in the special thanks area, but credits. We'll see.
I got you, man. I got you. Well, I mean, I think that's pretty much it for now. Like, I don't know. I like Fortnite, and for people saying the game is like already dead, I don't think so. And I think what's going to happen is there's still going to be faithful people playing that game up until it becomes free to play. And then I feel like there's going to be more people who try it out afterwards. It's just that if you're into grinding, which, you know, Fortnite, there is grinding there. You know what I'm saying? If you're into grinding, like, the king of all grinding games has come out with Destiny 2. And I think that kind of took away from that player base a little bit in Fortnite. You could call me crazy, but that's what I think has kind of happened recently. But like I said, it's uncharted waters. It's going to be free to play, you know, just about this time next year. And, you know, we'll see where it goes from there. I do want to switch topics a little more into the meat of the topics with this. Call of Duty World War II. There is a limited edition console coming for people, and it's a PS4 Slim. What? Everybody on the panel, have you guys seen the new PS4 Slim, the Call of Duty World War II limited edition?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. I was saying, did you actually see it? Because it is like completely covered in camouflage. You might have missed it, man. Especially if they put like a forest background behind it. I don't know.
I don't think anybody can miss the Slim, dude. Let's just be honest here.
Well, let's go to K Mega first, because I have a feeling he might have a little something to say about this, dude. What do you think about this new limited edition Call of Duty World War II Slim looks and whatnot, man? What do you think?
I was waiting on that. I knew he was gonna do that.
Dude, he had his finger on the button, like, even from the pregame when he saw
when you said when you just started it, I already had it prepped up, ready to go. But I seen it in the thumbnail. I already had it ready to go. There was no man. Look, okay.
So you're saying you don't like it, man?
Well, let's just put it this way. Normally, no. Okay, let me just be. I want to try to be.
How are you going to approach this,
gentler, K Mega today, because you know, set up such a joyous mood. But you know what? Look, man, PlayStation 4s, except for one, these customized PlayStation 4s have been absolutely atrocious. They have been piss water. They have. This is ugly as hell. That thing sticks out so much. It doesn't match anything.
You say it doesn't blend into the background?
Oh man, it is. Man, You know what I'm saying? It might give somebody seizures if they look at that damn thing, man. It's crazy. And
but
I mean,
it's got controllers built into the camouflage.
Look, that's even worse because I mean, it's like it distracts you from playing the game.
Holy shit, I didn't even see that. I just saw straight camouflage. There's control.
Yeah, go back and look at it. Like, it has part of the camo is the PS4 controller silhouette.
Oh man, I mean, normally it's like I've always said that it doesn't matter really what the console looks like. I mean, it's good for customization, but normally you're just paying attention to your TV screen. But if you have your console anywhere near your TV screen, that thing is going to distract you. You know what I'm saying? That's going to distract you. That thing is hideous. It is abysmal. And I don't even understand how anybody would be excited about that. I think that thing will not sell off the rack. It doesn't matter what kind of parents that they just want to buy something or whatever. They're not going to bring that ugly ass thing into their home. That's horrible. So I mean, look, the last one. Not the one before that.
Gran Turismo.
Black Ops 3.
Oh,
horrible.
Okay. Black Ops 3.
Yeah. Black Ops 3 was it was so basic. Like, it just had 3 eyes,
Roman
ones. Yeah, 3. You know what I'm saying? 3 in orange letters. It was hideous. You know what I'm saying? Now, the best 2 that I've ever seen for what the PlayStation. Well, I should say 3. The best 3 that I've seen so far. The GT Sport is awesome. It looks great. The old PlayStation 1 gray was cool, and then the Destiny 1 white with the gold trim was awesome. Other than that, PlayStation has been boy, look at it's been horrible. So.
Oh man, I know that's dude. You might be showing your age right there when it gets to a point you get so excited. Woo! Like,
Lord mercy, I'm start fanning myself, man. I just, man, it's pretty bad, man. It is pretty bad.
I got you.
I don't think anybody's gonna get it.
I do have a second part to this question, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the panel and hear what everybody has to say about like the look of this. But I do have a second part, so I am gonna come back to you, Mega, on like the next part to this question. But let's hit somebody who might be a little more level-headed here. Yo, Dark Optimus, man, what do you think about this Call of Duty limited edition PS4 Slim? Are you going to pick it up? Are you excited?
No. It's just, I don't know why they didn't actually put this with like a Pro or something like that. I mean, I think it would have probably maybe sold a little bit better. But I mean, it does, like K-Mega said, it looks hideous. It doesn't look great at all.
You're not a fan of camouflage, man. Like,
I mean, on military people, it's fine, But like on a console, it just doesn't.
Watch
fit.
out, Pred. He's gonna start stalking you now, man. I heard that, right?
Nah, it just doesn't look good on a console. It just there's no real like description on there like COD World War II. It's just camouflage and then like a silhouette of the controller, and it was just like, oh, okay, that's cool.
That's cool.
It just yeah. It's just one of those things. Like they should have probably done this with like the Pro or something like that. But I mean, I kind of understand why they didn't, because the Pro is kind of still more expensive, and it's not really selling as much as they probably wanted to.
Yo, Dark, hold that, man. That's the second part of the question right there, man. So
all right, man.
We're just keeping we're keeping with the look of this limited edition Slim. So let's hit Predator, man. Predator, you're a military man. I know, camouflage is your expertise, man. What do you think about this, yo?
Yo, okay, so the first thing I did when I saw this ugly ass console, I was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, this doesn't even look like a color scheme that was used during World War II, and it's not.
Thank you. I was just going to say that too.
The first color scheme used, as far as camouflage went, it's when it pertains to World War II, was a frog skin pattern. This wasn't used. I tweeted this out when I saw this. I don't think it was used till maybe '99. So they could have at least tried to be more realistic.
Would it have been better if they did that frog skin pattern instead?
it still would have been ugly, but at least would have been like actual
Accurate
colors. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So,
or a matte green, right? Because like most of what they did,
like an olive drab green, I think is what was a common color for military uniforms back then. But it was just like K Mega said, man. Like their consoles have been their custom consoles have just been generic, you know, throughout the entire like PlayStation 4 generation. It's just ugly. Everything they've come out with is just like, with the exception of maybe the Gran Turismo one, but like I've not been like
That
I've never
Destiny
been drawn
one,
in.
man. I'm sorry, that Destiny one's still number one to me, yo.
The white with the gold was decent looking, but like I mean, nothing has drawn me into like I gotta get that console. Like for me, I'm more of a I've mentioned this on other podcasts before on Console Corner and stuff. I would much rather have a controller than to have a whole system, because you only need one system to play a game. I rather collect controllers, basically. If they want to put time and effort into putting a controller and bundling in a controller, a custom controller with the game, I will spend extra for that before I spend extra for a brand new console when I have one sitting here that works just fine. You know, I don't need all the color and all the sounds and all the bullshit that comes with that shit, because it's going to sit in the shelf. It's going to do the same thing for me that any other console that I buy is going to do. I can't buy 30 consoles because they keep coming out with custom ones. But give me a controller. I'd rather collect those than collect consoles.
I really do like that idea. You bundle the game with a controller. You know, you set the price accordingly. I mean, at least with the funny thing is my PS4. It is refurbished or pre-owned or whatnot. And I gotta say, within the first 2 weeks, I already had drift in my thumbstick. So I went and I snatched one of Snap's controllers. I took her white one. And now with the white one, I have the rubber falling off on the left thumbstick. So, you know, it would be good for them to bundle in, like, the game with a limited edition controller. Like, it would get me to buy it more, because I have a tendency to run through controllers. But I do have to ask, since you brought it up, man, you talked about kind of like this entire generation when it comes to PS4, except for a couple hits there, most of their limited edition has been like, what the fuck are you thinking? Or very plain or whatnot. Do you think that's kind of like? Do you feel these limited edition consoles for Sony, anyways? Do you feel like it might be a cash grab, Pred, a little bit?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to think they sponsored this game. You know, they sponsored all the deals they've done with all these games, like this whole generation, Destiny, Call of Duty. I mean, pick one. They've got them all. I mean, they had to come out with something else to kind of recoup some of that money by selling consoles. So they want to come out with a custom console. I mean, even if it's just slapping a sticker on it, that's what they're going to do. So
that's
cheap,
what it looks like
easy.
They've been doing, man. To be
that's exactly what they've been doing. It's a cheap, easy way to kind of generate a little bit more buzz for the console and for the game on their system, and take away from whatever Microsoft decided not to do with these games. So, it's a cash grab. I mean, at some point in time, just looking at putting my business hat on, there's a bell curve there, and people who already have a PlayStation are going to stop buying them. You know, like at some point, people have to stop buying this shit. I mean, you see it kind of happening now with the Switch, kind of starting to win NPDs a little bit more because people don't have them yet. People aren't buying as many PlayStations as they were, a year ago. I mean, like, it doesn't matter if it's a custom console or not. So, you don't need 5 of them. You only need one for it to work. So, get a little bit more money. Go ahead.
Pray, when it comes to these limited edition things, man, I definitely have to agree with you when it comes to the consoles, because, in terms of their plainness and stuff, because I watched the Nintendo Direct, and I saw kind of like the new white and orange 2DS. I saw the new Pokemon 2DS. You look at what Xbox is doing with their limited editions, the Gears 4 limited edition, the Halo 5, even like the Call of Duty, I think it was Advanced Warfare limited edition. There's just so much more detail and stuff like that. I gotta say, like, in my opinion, and let me know if this is exactly where you're thinking, PlayStation is in like last place when it comes to like these limited edition consoles, man.
Oh yeah, if I was in a store right now and I was really trying, and I had all the custom consoles sitting in front of me, and I didn't really give a shit about which system I bought, I'd probably go with an Xbox one, just because they actually put a little bit more detail and a little bit more work into their consoles versus just let me throw a sticker on this motherfucker and sell it, So this looks better. Like, I wasn't a big fan of the Gears console. I will say that now. I like the control. I like the controller, but the console itself, that's the color scheme and stuff like that, the black and red wouldn't have fit in my house. It fits for your podcast because everything you do is black and red. But like,
yeah, I've been on a red kick, man. Everything is red lately.
But for the most part, man, it's not going to fit in my living room. Like, I love the white, the Minecraft console. I mean, think about that. I mean, like,
that has so much detail to it too, man.
Yeah, they put a lot of work into that. Like, it took time. I think it's a little late in the game for them to be doing it. But if they come out with that about a year and a half ago, over Christmas, a couple of years ago,
it went crazy.
Sold like hotcakes. But they come out with it now when they got the X1 coming out. It's not going to sell as well as I think they really wanted it to. But if I had to pick and choose, I would say just as far as custom consoles go, Xbox is killing it.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. I couldn't agree with you more, Predator. Yo, Don, man, you are a graphic whore, man. This is your cup of tea right here. We're talking visuals with the limited edition console. What do you think about Call of Duty World War II Slim?
As somebody with a pad and a pen and a big imagination, I am so offended by this thing.
He didn't even say he didn't like. He's offended by it.
I am straight up offended. Like, this is like the bare minimal effort. Like, and as somebody, but you do graphic stuff too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give where credit's due. You couldn't do better. Like, and I'm usually a nice guy. I'm pretty level-headed. I try to see both sides of things. Like, there's literally no excuse. If this was somebody on my marketing team and you presented that and you pushed this through, I would
back honestly, to the drawing board, man.
Update your resume. I'm usually really nice. I try to be nice and level-headed about it. But the reality is, and I sent somebody, everyone here on the podcast, if you go look at the DM, there's an Amazon listing. I want everyone to click on that and tell me how much different is that sticker that's stuck on a console in comparison to this PS4.
Hold on, I'm going there right now. Hold on. Making me open. Wow.
It's not much different, right?
No.
I mean, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, a $6.99 sticker you can find on Amazon.
On the controller is absolute garbage, though.
Yeah, no, it's not a pretty thing. That's the thing. Neither one is pretty. So, like, here, if I was given this task myself, right? And obviously I wouldn't go you can go the camel route, and that's probably the easy route to do with something like this. But I would have done.
I'm putting that link in the chat, by the way.
Okay, what I would have done is, Pred, help me out. What type of green is it that they use in World War II?
Olive drab.
Olive drab. So I would do that exact color for the base of the consoles, just like they did the controller, right? And you know how they had that net stuff they put on the helmets. You know what I'm talking about? So on World War II.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I would have done that on the top section of it, and then maybe a lot of times people would in World War II they would have painted their helmets. They would have had the little the little tally marks and stuff like that. Either
like a card or something sticking in their helmet.
Card, yeah. I would have done the top section of the PlayStation like that and put some actual effort into it. Like the net, I would have done the card, the little tally marks, all that sort of stuff. Shaded, almost look like it's almost kind of got a rounded shape to the top portion of it, even though it's still that square section with that that net pattern over the top of it, something like that, where it really screams that
the Duck Dynasty era. Edition. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But you get what I'm saying? There's no excuse for that one. There really is. That's the very minimal effort. And what blows my mind is, I would imagine when you go to, say, Activision, right, and you present the deal, whatever the money is, part of it, that deal is, hey, we're going to do a bundle. Hey, we're going to do a custom console, all that sort of stuff. At what point did Activision look at that as well? I would imagine they would be somewhat part of the approval process and say that was okay for representing their game.
I want to see what their other options were.
Yeah.
They had I'm sure they had 6 of them sitting in front of them, which one do you like? And somebody picked that one.
So your question is, this is the best they had, what was the worst, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I want everyone to say, me and Bot both do graphics, and wouldn't you agree with me? This is the most minimal effort that you could have done as far as a design goes.
To me, it's like I saw somebody on Twitter, right? I know there's a store in Connecticut. I don't know how far it is nationwide, but it's called Five Below. Everything is $5 and under, and they have a duct tape section, right? And they have graphic duct tape, and there's one that's camouflage, and it to me, literally, it looks like they took camouflage duct tape and went across the top of it, and that's all they did to it, man. I don't know. I didn't see the controller in the camouflage, and that's kind of
the controller's not camouflage. The controller's that green color, as I mentioned before. And
no, but you said that in the camouflage itself on the system, there's like the silhouette of the controller.
Yeah. You have to look into it, so it's built into the camouflage pattern itself.
And that's a very kind of timid. Oh, that's cool. But the rest of it, it looks like I said, just like that designer camouflage duct tape just put over the top of it, man. I don't like it personally.
Man, it's a 5-minute job to do that. To design that in Illustrator and all that sort of stuff. That is literally 5 minutes to 30 minutes of time, and that's how much do you think your custom console is worth?
Yeah, I know, right?
There's a lot of work that goes behind the scene with, because what they'll do is they'll do the injection molding of the case for the grain, and then it's basically it's a heat transfer paint they do on those plastics.
I'm actually a certified injection molder, by the way. I could run those machines, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
but it's a heat transfer paint they do on top of that. So it's basically it's this sheet, and it's this heat is applied to it, and then you peel the sheet off, and that's basically applied to whatever surface it is, and then it dries and it hardens really, really durable. It's very minimal effort. It's one extra step.
All right.
It really is one extra step.
All right, man. You could go on and on. Like I said, you are a graphic whore, man. You could go on and on, basically stabbing this thing to death when and rightfully so, in my opinion. But first, I want to address Black Tiger in the chat. Yes, me and O-Snaps are getting Call of Duty World War II. It'll be the first one I actually have owned since the second Call of Duty. And I'm not talking to if it's Black Ops 2 or anything. I'm talking Call of Duty 2. So I am excited to get in with the community and play that game. We got to go to the second part of this question, though. So I'm going to go right back to where it started with my brother K Mega. Yo, Mega, I'm noticing a trend here, and I don't know if you notice it as well, but why the hell are these limited editions, even with the graphics being plain, why the hell are they putting these limited edition kind of graphic consoles as a slim and not a pro, man? Have you noticed this?
Yeah, I noticed this, and it's because their biggest seller is the slim, and the pro is already it's already belly up, in the sense of where people really want to spend their money. People are really actually seeing that it's not giving out the performance that people was expecting. If there was the difference between the X, the 1X and the S, then it would be a difference, but it's not the case. And so people started figuring that out. Plus people are already, just like Predator said, it's just, you only need one console. So, you know what I'm saying? Why get another one? And for this thing to be so ugly, it's not going to move nothing. It's hideous, man.
But
and
at least you had if they had put this on a pro, right? Be it whatever the graphic is or whatever, even if you thought it was ugly, at least they could still fall back on, well, it's the most powerful PS4 out there as well.
Nobody is going to buy that trash. I mean, don't you understand that? Even though how easy it could have been or how minimal the putting those effects were on it, it still was not going to move, because the first thing people would look at were oh, this looks interesting. And then the next thing they'll say is that, oh, it's $400. I'm not buying that. You know what I'm saying? So it's better to put it on the slim and have it at a cheaper price. Pretty sure by the time that it gets to Black Friday, it might move then, because I think they're going to drop the price on it, because I think that's the only way that thing is going to move. Because for regular slim price, people just I'd just rather just get a regular black PS4 Slim. It's just not. And no, let me just say this. I didn't get a chance to say this. I mean, shout out to Predator and Miss K and to Porter Rock, man, for being in those are people. So all the people out there in the armed services, man, doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? We are my respects. You know what I'm saying? For real, because you know what I'm saying. Those people, they regardless of what some people may think about Porter Rock, man, he is a brother in arms, and we got to respect that. So.
No doubt. I mean, at the end of the day, like I definitely respect what he does, even though we definitely don't see eye to eye on pretty much anything. But
he ain't that hardcore gamer, but yeah, he ain't that hardcore gamer, but you know what I'm saying. He knows how to hold an assault rifle, so we'll give him props.
Definitely. Now, Mega, this is the very last part, and I'm gonna go down the panel with these questions. The very last part on this, right? With PlayStation deciding that they're going to go with the Slim in terms of these graphic designs and everything like that. We have the 1X coming out. Of course, we have the Day 1 edition, which is Project Scorpio, and that already has more time and effort, in my opinion, than this Call of Duty limited edition PS4. But do you think Xbox will take the same kind of like road? Do you think they'll do more limited edition S's with like the graphics and stuff? Because you see what they're doing with Minecraft, Xbox One S. Do you think that they're going to take this same road with the S and the X compared to what Sony is doing with the Slim and the Pro? Are you getting something ready, or did I stump you, man? I don't know.
Who's talking to me?
Yeah,
we're talking to you.
Oh, I thought, man,
put the controller down and get.
I'm sorry, man. I'm playing 2K, man. I was over there zoned out. I thought you was off of me, man. My bad. Ask the question again. My bad.
No, basically, you see what Sony is doing with the PlayStation, the PS4 Slim and the Pro. They're putting more of their kind of like colorful graphics. If you like it or you don't, but they're putting their more colorful graphics on the Slim. Do you think, because Xbox One X is coming out this year, right? Do you see Xbox like taking that same road and doing more limited edition stuff graphically and stuff like that for the S? Or do you see them, giving the X its due and coming out with like, I don't know, maybe like that Crackdown 1X or something like that? Or do you see them following the same road that Sony is doing?
I think that because, so many people put so much emphasis on the lack of sales for the S, for the half for this remainder of this year, and we anybody with common sense would understand that there's a lot of people that's waiting and anticipating for the X. So I think that if the situation is that the pre-orders is going really well and this thing start flying off shelves, I think their focus and I'm they might have surprised themselves on this, but I think their focus is going to be on the X because it costs more money, and it's kind of like, well, you know what? We can try to put that S where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? We're only just wanting people to get that just to get an Xbox if they don't want to pay that $500 price tag. But if they decided they want to go ahead and get this premium product, then you know what I'm saying? Then we're going to be more focused on doing customizable Xbox One X's.
All right, so you think they might go the 1X route?
It's all about how them sales are, because if I think the test is already made for that customized Minecraft console, and I think that and I agree with everybody that should have been last year, but to get people to start buying the S, you would want to see more customizable consoles, but they actually have been more custom. You know what I'm saying? Because you forget about the blue one, the Forza one. Then they had the gray one.
I remember the Forza one.
Then they had a green one. They've had different colors.
Oh, the Battlefield.
The Battlefield one. Yeah, so it's more of the things of where it's and I think they had a black one too. So what I'm saying, I think they've kind of customized them. But just by color wise. But I think it's going to determine the sales of which one is going to come off at the end of the year. And I'm thinking that the 1X is going to be the thing that's going to supplant it because it costs more money.
Okay,
in my opinion.
Definitely interesting. Let's get Optimus involved in this, man. You see, they're doing more and more of the limited editions on the PS4 Slim compared to the Pro. Why do you think that is, and do you think Xbox is going to follow suit with this, man?
I think the reason why they're kind of focusing more on the Slim is probably because it's cheaper to make. And they're probably like, well, the Pro is, I think really honestly, I think they're going to save the Pro for like the bigger type of titles, like their exclusive titles. Maybe I know they did the one for Destiny.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but all they did was make it white. I'm talking about,
but it's just white.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
But I think they're gonna.
Man.
I think they're gonna do like the designs more for when like maybe when Battlefront 2 comes out. Maybe they'll do one for that. I don't know yet. We haven't heard anything. Maybe they'll probably do one for God of War. For the Pro. It's just like I don't understand kind of why they're doing it for the Slims, but at the same time it's like, well, you kind of have to look at it like as a business aspect, that like it's probably cheaper for them to create those Slims than it is for them to create the Pros, so that's probably why they're doing it. To see Xbox doing this, I mean, if it works for PlayStation, I'm sure Xbox is probably going to follow suit. Because but I think they focus more on controllers than they do on consoles. In terms of like
more on controllers than even games at some points in time, man.
Yeah, they do, but like game, like I said, probably more towards I know you guys were saying more towards the X, but I think more for me, I think they're going to focus more on the Slim because it's cheaper to make than it will be for them making the X's. And I think they're going to kind of want to keep the X at a black color for a little while until they kind of sell those off, and then maybe make something like a Halo edition or Gears edition or something like that. I mean,
don't do that to me, man.
Xbox has always kind of been like that. Like when it comes to their like exclusive games, they've always kind of made like a console for it. They've always kind of had a limited edition console for it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something for Halo 6. When that comes out.
Nice. All right. Predator, man, why are they doing these with the PS4 Slims, man? Like, I would figure that they would go with their more powerful one and put some of what they thought was like colorful graphics and stuff. But why are they doing this with the Slims? And do you think Xbox is gonna follow that same path, man?
Well, with the Slims, they're more popular. People who are in the know that there's not that big of a jump from the Slim.
See, I hear you on that. I hear you, and I'm sorry to cut you off, man, but I just gotta throw this in here because I've heard this, stated before, how the Slims are more powerful, but are more popular. Wouldn't you feel like if that was the case, they would do more with the Pro to kind of push that more?
The price difference between the Slim and the Pro, because like this is what I envision happening. All right, so I'm put my business hat on again.
Let's do this.
And you'll see this coming from Microsoft too. I give it maybe 2-3 years max, right? They're going to slowly phase out the Xbox One S and make the Xbox X their primary console, and the PlayStation will eventually do the same thing unless they come out with their PlayStation 5. They'll phase out the Slim, right? And they're going to, basically, as the price of the Pro and the Xbox One X start to drop, they're going to slowly get rid of the stock they have with the cheaper models to kind of even it out. So right now, they're getting rid of the Slim stock right now, and they're throwing this sticker on everything. It's popular. I mean, it's a popular console. When people walk in the stores, when the kids walk in the store, little Johnny, little Timmy walk in the store, and they want that Call of Duty bundle, they're going to get that one. They're going to get that ugly-ass console because it's got military. My stepson, he's the same way. He's all about the military, right? Mm-hmm. His mom's in it. His dad's in it. Stepdad's in it. He wants that military console. Because it looks cool. Because he wants to be a man. He wants to be hardcore, blah, 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 whatever you want to call it. But he wants that console, and he's going to see it in the store. He's like, I want that, because it's got Call of Duty associated with it. So they're going to sell that. It's going to make some money. It's ugly to us, but for like a little 8-year-old kid, it's awesome.
Oh, hell yeah.
So So they're gonna pick that console. So they're basically putting this where they're selling. They're getting Slim is moving a lot faster than the Pro is right now. So they're gonna basically highlight that, put it on the Slim. It's already made, it's ready to go. Just put a sticker on it and call it a day. So it's cheaper to make. I mean everything that everyone else on the panel said so far is absolutely correct. Now, will Microsoft follow suit on this? I don't know. I think what they're most likely going to do is wait and see how it sells first, and then make a decision based off of that. I don't expect to see.
So you're going the K Mega route on that, then?
Yeah, I don't expect to see a custom console until Anthem. That'll be the first console, and then I don't think Crackdown is gonna get one. It might have had it come out.
Sea of Thieves, I think, would definitely get one.
Sea of Thieves is more of a.
Do you think that'll be an S or an X though?
I think it'll be an S.
I think
don't think
probably
the first X game that's gonna get a custom console will be Anthem, and then Halo. And after that, who knows? But because we don't know what's coming out. But as far as if they go with a custom console with anything else, it's gonna be on the S. Sea of Thieves might get one. Crackdown will get one on the S. And that's it. I mean, that's all you're going to get this year. Because if you look at the history so far of this generation, how many custom consoles outside of Forza and what was it
for Xbox?
Battlefield? Yeah, for Xbox.
Well, you had the Battlefield, which was a plain color. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the.
You got a Sunset Overdrive one too, as well.
Well, Sunset was a plain one. That was the first time they came out with the
that
white.
was the white one. Yeah.
You also had the Halo. You had the Forza 10th anniversary one, which was absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. Halo 5 to this day I think is one of the best ones. Gears was absolutely amazing with the laser etching and stuff like that. They have had quite a few.
Gears and Forza are the two they actually put a lot of work and effort and time and money into.
Are
the
you
other ones are kind of
strangling my Halo 5?
Right
I don't remember the Halo 5 ones. I can't really talk about that one. If you're talking about
that had the lock colors,
Xbox,
man. It was the silver, the gray, and the blue.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I do remember that one now. So
I know Mega likes it.
They put more effort into the Gears.
Yeah, I got the lock controller.
Everything else. Oh, that's right. I remember that now. So I mean, again, the controller, though, right? Would you rather want to put more money into the console or to the controller?
Oh, I'm with you on that, Predator. I got about like 5 controllers. So yeah, no, I'm thinking about trying to get that Volcano controller.
What does it cost? Okay, just thinking out in the box right now. So it probably is a lot cheaper to make a custom controller for Microsoft than it is to make an entire console for Microsoft and hope it sells. Because I can go out right now and get a custom. I can get the Halo 5 one right now. I've seen it in the store recently. So it's still sitting there. So like, I would much rather get a Recon Tech controller, an Anthem controller, Anthem theme controller to come with my game than a console. I mean,
I think Xbox needs to hire Xbox Pope to make limited edition controllers and stuff like that, man. He does a phenomenal job, yo. And if they do that, I want to see Xbox 448. And yes, I said do. But anyway, yo, Pred, I want to kind of let you and the rest of the panel in, and I know we have to talk to the Don as well on this. But when it comes to the limited edition consoles, I feel when it comes to Xbox, between the S and the X, we are now in a transition phase. All right, I do feel that there's going to be a Sea of Thieves limited edition console, and it's going to be on the S. But I have a feeling they're going to start weeding the S limited editions out, and they're going to start making the X's. And here's why, right? End of generations, right? We're looking at kind of like a cell phone model when it comes to new consoles and stuff like that with Xbox. I feel that maybe 3-4 years down the road, the Xbox One X will be almost that entry level into the Xbox family of consoles. And with that being said, I think we'll see a transition from like this year and moving forward to where they do a couple more S's, but you'll start seeing more limited edition X's, and that's because no generations, guys. I don't know, Predator. What do you think about that theory, man?
Yeah, I mean that's basically what I said a while ago. It's just like they'll slowly phase out the S's.
And you probably said it better. I'm gonna be honest with you. You probably said it better, but
they'll phase out the S's and start moving towards the X a little bit more. I think 3 years that might be the max. If they're still sitting on the shelves. I mean, can you go find a original Xbox One right now anywhere?
Yeah, I'm not seeing one at Best Buy. I mean, not
I
Best
seen
Buy.
one.
Sorry.
They're not producing them anymore.
I'm just saying. I just seen it when it was $139, and you get
it's like
you
cheap
get,
to start right now.
Yeah,
But
Destiny and FIFA for free.
what's the Xbox S going right now for? Like $250. You can probably get it if you wait for a deal, maybe $199 maybe.
There's $250 with like a bundle with a couple games right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, so that's with games. So, like, imagine it's a standalone console. So, it's decreasing in price, and so eventually it's gonna max. It's gonna meet up with what the original Xbox One is right now, which is like 150, 175, and it's gonna keep dropping in price. So next Christmas, that thing will probably be like way less than $200, and the X would be the main console.
Yeah.
And you just remember, if you think about it, this could be the reason why we didn't see a lot of customized Xbox One Fats, because they already knew that they were trying to get those things out of people's sites as soon as possible.
See, I like the look of my Fat though, man.
No, the Fat was all right. I wasn't tripping. I mean, like I said, it is what it is. But
people were saying VCR and this and that, and I'm like,
you compare it to looking at the S and the X. It those look a lot better than the Fat.
All right, I'll give you that, man. Yeah. Yo, Don, what do you think? Yo, why is Sony going more the slim route with these kind of like graphical limited edition consoles? And after that, what do you think Xbox is going to do for between the S and the X when it comes to these limited editions, man?
Well, it comes right down to what moves the most units. So,
damn, 3 people on sales already?
No, but that is what you do. Because here's the thing: is the last thing you want to do when you do a limited edition console, the sole purpose of it is to generate hype during the holiday season, which is the biggest buy-in season for any platform, right? Mm-hmm. And then once you generate that hype, you want to sell through that stock. The last thing you want to do is have a limited edition that's irrelevant sitting on a shelf that's your console, right? You don't want that, because what tends to happen is it gets overlooked, and then that ties up shelf space, and then that retailer doesn't order more of the newer stuff, right? So you always want to do the thing that's the lowest risk, and that's what they're doing. They're doing the thing that's the lowest risk. Right now, it's the standard PlayStation Slim, and they're only going to do a certain number of those. They're going to try to push as many consoles out at the same time, but they're going to also want to make sure they burn through that stock as quickly as possible, so they don't get a bunch of a Call of Duty sitting on the shelf come next holiday season. You know what I mean? They don't want that. So that's really what it comes down to. You have to hit that hype at the right moment where people are willing to buy. You want to move the thing that's the lowest risk possible. That's the reason why you always see custom consoles. They always say limited. The keyword limited is always used, right? Mm-hmm. Because they don't want to do another production run, right? Do another production run, it costs a bunch more money. Even though there's like a couple extra steps, you still have to set up the production line to do this new console, even if it's from like the ground up, right? So usually they don't pull like one console off a shelf and then decorate it, right, and then put it back in a box and ship it out. It's not how it works, right? They come with a design, they ship out that console within that design, right, and they do that limited edition, and that's when they stop. So it really comes right down to is whatever's the most popular down the road. If the X, and then I know this is the second part of your question, Bot, if the X ends up being the most popular console for Microsoft going into the next calendar year, absolutely, you'll see the custom console be on the X. 100% you'll see that.
I think you're going to see it anyway, though. Like, it might be a little bit longer if the sales if the sales aren't kind of like up to snuff. But like I said, with this whole kind of like doing away with generations, where if you notice what Sony is saying, they're kind of like dropping hints about PS5 and stuff like that in a couple years and all this good stuff. So they're still in that whole kind of like generational space when it comes to console. Xbox is somewhere totally different with that. So I feel like they're gonna phase out those limited editions on the S and let the X kind of take over, especially when they're getting closer to it being kind of like the introductory level to the Xbox One family of devices, man.
It's only if it's a lower risk that they'll end up doing it, because they don't want to take big. Here's the thing: is they spend all this money, right? But they still want to minimize the risk if they can. Companies are always aware of that. They're always conscious of that, right? And so when they do these limited editions, they want to minimize the risk, right? As much as we were kind of making fun of the PS4 graphic layout, it's a pretty safe thing. It's just camo thrown on top.
Yeah.
For a bunch of military shooters, for like, the same age as Xbot and Predator's kids, right? That's really the target demographic. As much as we kind of clown on it, like that is the true target demographic. So they just want to move it, get it out of the shelf. Like, I've seen stores right now that still have like the Destiny 1 PS4 a custom edition. That every store that has that,
man,
that hurt.
I've been looking for that. I will trade in my PS4 I have here right now to get the gold trim white one, man.
If next time I see one, I'll send you a picture and we'll work something out. But but in all seriousness, that store, knowingly or not, hates having that particular custom console there at this point in time, right? That game is almost completely irrelevant, right? Because Destiny 2 is out. It's almost a 3-year-old game at this point, right? And that's not an incentive to buy the console. Now, like it almost ends up being a burden to try to sell that console for most customers. So they don't know. No platform wants to be in that situation when they're pushing consoles. They want to push enough out, but they also want to make sure it's a good chunk that's just going to sell through.
I got
that makes any sense. So it just all depends. It just depends on how sales go. Really will dictate when we'll see more custom of one versus the other, right?
And I love what Predator brought to the table with this in terms of the kids, because like he said, all of us we can scrutinize this, as kind of like more mature gamers and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, we know the key demographic to Call of Duty, which has been for years now, is like kind of like that 10 to 14-year-old out there. And they're not going to give two shits. They're just going to think it looks awesome for having that camouflage and stuff like that as well. So,
well, I guarantee there's going to be one kid. Like when parents buy something for the kid and they buy the slightly wrong variant of that thing, right? And the kid like loses it.
Mom, what the fuck?
I have a feeling there's going to be a kid like that that's literally going to end up crying not because he got Call of Duty or a PS4, but you got the camo PS4, right? Like I see that happening with a few kids, not a lot, but
yeah, I swear, if any of the kids ever did that in my house, oh my goodness, we'll just leave it at that. Yeah. But all in all, I mean, I think we're all in agreement here. In terms of the Call of Duty PS4, I think it's kind of like unanimous down the panel. It is definitely a pass for us. If you like it, out there in the chat, for people who watch the show afterwards, if it's your cup of tea, that's fine. Like I said, different strokes, different folks. Everybody, has different personalities, different opinions and stuff like that. And if you like it, man, we're not telling you not to go out and buy it. I just feel like it's unanimous across the board here that we feel it's kind of like a minimal effort for a limited edition console.
They've definitely done better in the past, right? And let's call it how it is, right?
Yeah, definitely. And that's what you guys are going to get from us. You're going to get our honest opinions. And with that being said, I want to move on to the next topic, which is something I feel is kind of innovative in a way that I didn't think was going to happen. But Xbox, with dealing with the Xbox One X and downloading 4K textures and stuff like that to your games with the X enhancements to it, they are dealing with a kind of like a new way of downloading the game where they're asking developers to kind of like cut up their games in certain ways for when people with the X install them. And just to give a kind of like an example is like if you have a game that has single player and multiplayer, kind of like split those up into two separate kind of like installs, and give kind of like the gamer the decision on what they wanted to keep with the game, or be able to kind of like remove sections and keep the parts that you're actually playing. Not only that, only downloading a certain part of the game and then continuing to download as you progress while playing it. This is, to me, this is truly revolutionary when it comes to games. And you know, these games, they're going to have huge install bases with having the 4K textures, 4K resolution and stuff like that. So, I hope I explained it right. I'm gonna go to the Don here, and Don, if there was anything I kind of like messed up on, or if there's anything to be kind of clarified on there, please do that for me. But what do you think about what Xbox is doing when it comes to these X1X enhanced games and downloading them, man?
Well, let's separate Xbox One X and standard Xbox, because this stuff applies across the board on both platforms. Okay. So it applies. So like they talked about, like breaking up just languages, right? You're in America and you only speak English. Why do you need to have the Japanese translation, right? Or the let's say French, right? Mm-hmm. You don't need that. But if you're in Canada, wouldn't it be nice to also have the French and the English version? It would, but all the other ones don't make any sense, right? So it's called intelligent delivery. And this is actually not the first time. People are acting like this is the first time Xbox has talked about it. It's not the first time they've talked about it. I believe I've heard both Mikey Barra talk about it before and Phil Spencer talk about it before. Mm-hmm. When I think Phil was addressing download times and being able to play a game sooner, because on the competing platform on PlayStation 4, you can usually play the games much sooner, essentially.
See, I thought a lot of people have argued with me about that whole thing when downloading on the PS4.
The downloading is slower. The downloading is slower, but
I get in and play quicker.
Yes, that's the difference, right? So, and that's something, Bill was being honest about, and he hinted it, and he called it intelligent delivery then, and they're calling it intelligent delivery now. And it's one of those things that they've been in the works, and you can't just have everything all at once, right? So it takes time to make these things function properly. I heard it earlier with just downloading more playable versions of the game sooner and getting in the game sooner as the rest is downloading in the background. Mm-hmm. And now they're talking about, from the Xbox One Enhanced, they're talking about language, they're talking about dividing multiplayer versus campaign type stuff. They're looking at a much broader scope of what the technology can utilize for.
With this intelligent delivery, will we be able to choose like what first gets downloaded and stuff like that, or?
Maybe it'd be up to the dev. The dev may give you the choice. I don't know how it's really going to pan out as far as that goes. But it's just another way that, let's say developers can deliver their content to their consumers. They're also talking about other things, so offloading only what you need on your hard drive, right? So like, let's say a game takes 100 gigabytes. Well, that's a lot of storage space that's taken up on your hard drive. So if they can continue to stream data in the background and replace other stuff on your hard drive as you kind of play, and say that game's still 100 gigabytes, right? But it's only taking up, say, 50 gigabytes of your hard drive space, just for simple math.
Dude, that part of it absolutely amazes me right there. Like, that is something I never even thought of in terms of installing games, and I'm really interested in that kind of like tech and see how it fleshes out, man. What do you think overall about what they're doing with this, man?
It's competition. It's good. It's, PlayStation did one thing better, and so therefore Xbox had to leapfrog them, right? Mm-hmm. And they're not ignoring a situation. They're taking care of it, and they want to take it a step further, right? What that means is when they deliver on that means Sony's going to have to answer, because there's going to be people, they're going to be like, they do this on Xbox, why can't you guys do it, right? Yeah. And so that's the great thing about all this. And it's giving consumers, it's giving developers choice, and giving everyone a better experience, both the developer, both the end user. I mean, there's really no losing on this, and it's just like other technologies they've applied, like DX12. That was in the works for a while, and then they finally delivered. And now you're starting to see more and more games implemented and more features being implemented now. And that's what you're going to see with intelligent delivery is you're going to see, when it first starts coming out, first start rolling out, you'll start utilizing very minimal ways, right? But they're going to expand it in more and more ways where they can break up the code and how the data is delivered to the box. But it's very much a proactive, hey, we want you to be able to play everything local on your hardware, which I think what gamers actually like.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to take advantage of our cloud service and use it to the best of our ability. And then if the competition can't do it, guess what? Our cloud service is available to you guys as well if you want to pay for it.
Oh,
right?
shit. Mic
You know,
drop.
so that's why they do this sort of stuff. So I'm excited. I think any gamer should be excited. I think I talked enough about it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, not to talk enough, but definitely. I'm just excited for this. It's something that like I didn't really see coming. I know, like you said, Phil has talked about this before, but there's a lot when you follow Microsoft, and I follow Microsoft through multiple things, whether it's the PC, whether it was, Windows Phone when that was kicking, Surface tablet stuff. You know they like to talk a lot about a lot of stuff, but not all of it comes to fruition. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think a lot of people always pick up on the stuff too, right? They say it in passing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And no one really picks up on it. I remember listening in on a GDC conference regarding HDR, right? And that's before the Xbox One S came out. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a PC implementation, and this is how they're going to do it, and all that sort of stuff regarding DX12. And lo and behold, like 3 months later, you get the announcement of the S, right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of times, even myself, like you kind of miss out like exactly what they're getting at and what the real plan is until afterwards. So
Nice. I do want to move on. Yo, Dark Optimus, man, what do you think about this intelligent delivery system? Does this look like something that could be? I hate using like quotations that a lot of people use and stuff, but a lot of people say when it comes to a feature or something that's like, oh damn, like how the hell is the competition gonna step up to this? They call it a game changer. Do you see this kind of like intelligent delivery system being a game changer? And do you see like developers kind of like listening to Microsoft when it comes to this and being like, all right, yeah, we're gonna separate, the single player from the multiplayer and give these options and whatnot? Do you think the developers are going to go with this?
All I kind of really have to say is intelligent delivery is pretty fucking intelligent.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the right name for it.
Yeah, man. It's just the right name for it. Because, I mean, it's brilliant for them to come out with something like this and just say, hey, this is just another reason why I love Xbox so much, and for them to kind of like do something like this. And, it kind of shows that, hey, we're looking into these file size of these games, and we want to make sure that you guys are utilizing your space on your console for other things besides just the games, so because a lot of people like to take clips and do different media stuff on there and have a bunch of different apps, so this kind of frees up that type of space that we need for all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Your second part of your question, I kind of forgot what you said. Do you want to repeat that to me again?
I'm trying to think. Oh,
I can't remember.
In terms of it like being a game changer, I believe that was the second part.
Oh yeah.
Would you label this? Oh no. Do you think the devs will follow suit and kind of do what Xbox and Microsoft are asking? In terms of kind of like chopping up the install into like single player, multiplayer, or as Don said, in terms of languages, like not having to download the other language translations, stuff like that. Do you see the devs like kind of like saying, all right, yeah, we're going to do that for your platform?
Honestly, yeah, I can see them doing it, because then they can say, oh, well, we can put on, we could put maybe even extra stuff onto our discs that we didn't have. Like maybe, I know this is kind of far-fetched, but, you know how sometimes we get downloadable content that's basically dislocked content. Maybe we'll actually get it this time, that we, we don't have to, wait for 5 months, to get this content. It's I honestly think devs will be on board with it, and I think, like Don said, I think PlayStation will be on board with it eventually, because they almost kind of have to at that point with,
I don't know. I still can't change my PSN ID name. And
that's true. You're right. You're absolutely right. But they did
been
actually
asking
finally,
for
allow us
forever.
to have a. But they also did finally allow us to have an external hard drive. So I mean,
That's
if anything, if this does come, it will come way later down the line because they'll be like, no, we don't need that, and then they realize,
It's
yeah,
not for the gamers.
yeah, we're trying to protect the children. Jason.
Oh my goodness. I want them to use that excuse for absolutely everything. All right, people talk about the cheap rubber on the thumbstick, but we're just trying to protect the children. Okay, stuff like that. Just every time something comes up, that's got to be the excuse on Sony's side.
Just protecting the children,
Yeah, man, I'm down. I'm down. But yo, Mega, what do you think about the whole intelligent delivery when it comes to installing games? Like, I didn't really see this coming, man. I'm really excited, especially since I'm gonna be a day one purchaser of the One X, and I don't know. Do you think this is a game changer? Do you think the devs are gonna do what Microsoft asks in this department, man?
Yeah, I don't see why the devs wouldn't. I think that this is definitely this is a game changer. This is one of those things where people always forget about the innovation of what Microsoft, what Xbox does, especially for gaming. And this is just added evidence. I mean, there's other things that's factored as well. I mean, you have the 1080p DVR now that you can have, and you can put that into your hard drive.
I was actually going to get into that afterwards because there's
my bad.
No, man. Go ahead because you're talking about the innovation and stuff. So
yeah, and then also you've been hearing the rumblings about there's a SDK kit that's going out to developers right now to try to lock these games. They're trying to have a mode that's 1080p 60 frames per second. Trying to have it locked at 60 frames per second. So again, this intelligent delivery is something that gamers has been asking for, especially when there's people that can't really buy hard drives, especially if just for the mere fact that you can go ahead and you could have like a 500 gig or 1 terabyte, and you can chop up things. Like if you want to have you got Call of Duty, for instance, and you want to have you just want to play the single player mode and not play the multiplayer, or vice versa, and just to take that part out, that's crazy to me. Like, that's insane. You know what I'm saying? Who would have thought about that? Except for you just sitting back on the couch and chopping it up with your friends, and then next thing you know, he's like, man, I wish they would do that. And now Microsoft is doing it. So your PlayStation has to do something, but it will be later down the line. They'll make some kind of excuse and say that it's not really that important, but because we now have, you can get an external drive, some shit like that. But we all know that this is beneficial, especially if you are buying a lot of games. It's great.
Mega, what I'm really kind of like digging about this is I think about a couple games put to mind. Like I was a day one adopter of the Master Chief Collection, right? Mm-hmm. But I already played all the Halo stories that were in that game, and I wanted to go straight to the multiplayer. Now, granted, the multiplayer didn't work day one, but to get the option to download the multiplayer first and then let the stories kind of download in the background and stuff like that, it would have got me into the game faster. That it's just to me, it's a really nice feature. Forza Motorsport 7 that's coming out, I automatically go into career first. And I know there's people out there who jump straight into multiplayer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think it's really, really awesome to have that option. And if the devs put that in there, be like, all right, well, do you want to download the multiplayer or the single player first? And then you go from there. I think this is something that I know, every platform has a personality, has a signature to it. And a lot of times, we talk about exclusive games when it comes to, the personality of a platform. I think this is something that really defines, it could definitely define the personality of the Xbox platform even more. And then, of course, fleshing out the first party studios and stuff like that. I feel this is a good step towards really giving the Xbox One its true standout personality, because I'm with you. I don't feel that Sony's going to do anything about this anytime soon, man.
Yeah. And also, don't forget about gaming on dedicated servers. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's another plus for Xbox right there that they don't want to talk about.
Yeah, well, I wish more developers would take advantage of that. Not for anything. I know there's been developers out there. It's like, yeah, well, it would be unfair to the Sony players in terms of multiplat. But when it came to the resolution and stuff like that, they completely utilized whatever the launch systems. They completely utilized the PlayStation 4. They did native 1080p on certain games. They did 900p on the Xbox version. I don't see that. If they do that difference, why didn't they, adopt the dedicated servers more? You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, just imagine.
There's other politics at play that.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck politics, man. Like I don't see why they want to do it. Yeah.
Unless I could talk a little bit more about it outside of probably the podcast, but
Damn
I could a little bit more about it. But I think what's also interesting is this whole intelligent delivery thing. It's one more thing to push you towards the digital.
That
way
is.
of
I was thinking. Yeah.
Consuming your games, right? And that. So people are just like, well, why are developers going to take advantage of this, right? That's the key question, right? It sounds like a cool feature, but why are they going to take advantage of it? And some won't, right? But the ones that will take advantage of the big motivating factor is for you to buy it digitally. So you own the license and you don't resell that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about giving you incentives, right? That's where Xbox fell at first, where they feel like everyone's felt like they were forced. That was the wrong way to go about it. But if you incentivize the customer is a better experience than going the other way around, then the consumer is going to be willing to do it. And this is just one step towards that direction as well. So
nice. And see, when you talked about like the all digital thing, there was people in the chat. I know Daz was one of them talking about Forza Motorsport 7, the disc. The disc is going to have 45 gigabytes, and then there's going to be a 50 gigabyte install, online. And to me, that makes sense because I bet you the 45 gigs is all the goodness of the single player with the textures, the lighting, everything like that. But if you're not connected online, you're not going to play the multiplayer. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to go in terms of the online multiplayer and stuff like that. So just have that single player there. And for people who do have that internet connection, all that good stuff, you download the multiplayer aspect to that, knowing that you are going to indeed take part in the online multiplayer. To me, that's absolutely brilliant right there.
It's almost like a next generation feature, almost like you're getting a new console.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not. That's what's happening, right? This is what Microsoft envisioned when they talked about consoles without generations, right? There's things that it could do on the software side of things, both on the server side of things. That's the reason why they wanted to go so much on their dedicated servers and everything being located there. But also from the hardware perspective, right? This is something that applies not just to the X, it applies to the S, right? So regardless of what system you are getting, you're getting a next generation feature without having to buy new hardware.
That's absolutely amazing. My bad. Yo, Predator, I do have to say I was watching your gameplay as we were talking. That fucking Viper is fast as shit, dude. What the hell did you do to that thing, man?
I tuned it, man.
Yo, dude, that straightaway, that sucker was gone, yo. But yo, Pred, what do you think about this intelligent delivery? I know, me, Don, Mega, we're singing praises over here. We're writing it in as Xbox scripture right now. But I want to know what you think, dude.
When I hear stuff like this, when it comes to the tech side of it, I like to see it actually in action before I praise it. So I want to actually see how much space is actually being saved. But I do like the concept of it because a lot of people out there, they have data caps and stuff like that and different limits on how much stuff they can download to their whatever in their household, whatever. So it's interesting tech, and I love my tech. So I think it's pretty cool. I'm not really – it's something that's in the background. If I didn't know what was happening, I probably wouldn't care. But now that I've seen it, I mean, some of these games coming out, it's 4K assets and stuff like that. What's for? Is it 100 gigs or some shit like that? That's a lot of space to be using. Especially these little. So I have a 2 terabyte hard drive on top of the 2 terabytes that I have.
Dude, I have a 1 terabyte external with a 1 terabyte in my system. So
yeah, so you feel my pain. So instead of constantly deleting or removing games and stuff like that, if I can not download certain things, certain assets of specific games, it's a good feature for me, and I'm sure it's a good feature for other people out there. So I mean, I think it's good for all the gamers out there. It's another notch for Microsoft looking out for the gamers.
Yeah, and I love where you're coming from, where you want to see it in action first, and I think, everybody on the panel definitely wants to see it in action as well. I think what's going on with with everybody here, I think Predator grounded us a little bit to that, because we're thinking about the potential and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely we want to see it in action first before we're like, yo, this is definitely a game changer all the way through. Oh my goodness, like we have to see it actually perform, definitely. But it's something I didn't expect, and it's an innovation in my opinion that if it works out properly, yeah, it could be one of those things that really is kind of like the personality of the platform. It's like, well, yeah, I get to pick and choose, what part of my game I'm going to install first, because I like I said, I know there's like Halo people out there that, a lot of times they give two shits about the story, and they want to go right into the multiplayer and stuff like that. So can you imagine the next Halo just being able to download the multiplayer first and let the story kind of like download in the background? Or some people might not even like download the story for a month or two, and to have that option is it's kind of amazing to me.
You said something really interesting too when you were talking. I think you were talking to Don a while ago, and you said it's if I'm going to try to quote you what you said, if the developers use it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's been something that hasn't really been utilized throughout this whole generation. The things that Microsoft has brought to the table, like DX12, I mean, it's been a slow process. Let me put it that way. So, if the devs use it, then yes, it's going to work out in our favor. But it's got to be something they have to implement. It's not something Microsoft is going to implement. It's going to be something that devs implement.
Well, and you're right on point on the expectation from the consumer. If you're an Xbox guy, right, don't expect this stuff to happen overnight, right? This certain it's going to be a slow burn for these developers to start integrating this into how they make their games. So it's not lazy devs either. It's
hashtag lazy devs.
It's resources, right? It's resources and time and money. And that's what it always comes down to, right? I have never met a lazy developer. Like, it's a unicorn to me. True honesty. But it's money, time, and development. So as I said, like, I talked about the small things that might implement and the other stuff that can be implemented down the road, right? That they're talking about. And these things are going to take time. Not everyone's going to be on the same page at the same time, but this is the future of what we're going to be seeing down the road. Yeah. Over a longer period of time. And that's the same thing with DX12. It's, we're seeing some engines implement more features of it than others, right?
Well, and just like what you're saying with DX12 and stuff like that, I have a feeling where we're going to see this first, which is why I'm saying Forza Motorsport, which is why I'm saying Halo 6, is because we're going to see it from the first party developers first, since
absolutely it's almost mandatory for those guys, right?
Yeah.
But the same token, they love the tech that their publisher is offering them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, give Predator his credit on that one.
Oh,
so
definitely.
It's going to take time, and it's nothing wrong with being skeptical, right? Like, like say only a couple games do it, and you're like, well, what the hell? Well, it's going to take time. Don't have the expectation that every developer is going to do it overnight. In regards to that, it's going to take time. And honestly, asking from a consumer standpoint, once you've experienced it, to say, you know what, I want more of this, and that's what the developers want to hear. In regards to that, because then there's an incentive for them to actually do it. So.
Quietness.
Oh yeah.
Bot's doing a lot of clicking. He muted himself.
I know. He was talking about me earlier.
Yeah, no, man.
So rumor is Bot's actually a Broomba with nice duct tape to it.
Oh, damn. Dude, my mic itself was muted. My blackout was muted. I was like, hold on, I'm not muted in the Hangout or anything right now. But no, what I was saying was, Mega was talking about innovation before, and he touched on, the upgrade to game DVR. For people who are in the Insider program, I believe the alpha version, you can capture your gameplay at 1080p right now. You could choose between 720 or 1080. Of course, when the One X comes out, they're talking you can game capture at 4K, 60 frames per second. Now, that is an upgrade to the game DVR. And Mega, I'm going to bring this towards you because you definitely brought this up. My whole thing with this is if they're upgrading the game DVR, a lot of people thought, an upgrade to Upload Studio would happen with this. Now, they are, in fact, two separate applications here. You know what I'm saying? You have your game DVR, which just does the raw game capture, and then Upload Studio is just it's the application to edit that raw gameplay. So they're basically two separate applications here, right? With them talking about this upgrade and instilling it in the Insiders program now for the 1080p or whatnot, what do you think is going to happen with Upload, man? I'm a little nervous right now that they're not going to upgrade Upload Studio as well. So what do you think about the game DVR, and do you think that they still have the plans to upgrade Upload Studio?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard that they were going to do an overhaul on Upload Studio. So the thing of it is that in order to do it right, it's going to take time to get everything balanced and working well. We were talking about this on GRG last night, even going to the point of saying, once you have it established and it's out there in the wild, you can add more things to it. And Triple Cup Chuck was even brought up this point of saying, maybe you can entice people to get in, and like for 99 cents, you can get a new template. Because not every month, or even if you could,
that's a great idea, by the way.
Get new templates in there to make it look more fresh, to make things look more original for them. So we all know that if you're going to have these DVRs at 1080p and on the X will be 4K, you got to have overall Upload Studio to have those enhancements as well to make it look more fresh and new, because I use it, but I have to go to my computer and enhance it, because it's at 720p. Now I do got the new, I've got the update, and so now I changed it to 1080p. But I haven't recorded any gameplay yet, so I'm going to find out and see what it looks like or whatever. But yeah, Upload Studio has to get revamped.
Dude, we're dealing with Master Chief Collection templates. We're dealing with Sunset Overdrive.
Yes. Yeah.
No Halo 5 anything, no Gears anything. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. And yeah, I'm just saying, like, you want to try to promote Sea of Thieves and Crackdown and all these other games that PUBG, you think that you couldn't get a PUBG template, what I'm saying, or maybe a crossover or something like that, or some kind of layout to where you can show that in the background. Like, yeah, they said that they were going to work on it, you know what I'm saying? So I everything else that they've been doing, they came with it. So I'm just thinking that it just might take more time for them to do it in order for everything to work together.
See, I haven't heard them say directly that they're going to deal with Upload Studio. I heard them say about game captures, and that's what I'm saying. That's what concerns me. Now, it would make sense to me. I mean, if you look at what they did with Upload Studio from the launch, right? They went in and they upgraded it, at one point in time because, let's be honest, it needed it, right?
Right.
And they did a good job with that. And then all of a sudden it felt like a deserted town afterwards. Yeah, they're like, all right, we did all this and there you go. That's it. I'm just a little concerned because I'm in the Insiders program as well. And I figured that they would put that out there to upgrade both at the same time and let you kind of mess with them at the same time and then work out the kinks from there. I mean, that's what the Insiders program is for. That's what I'm a guinea pig right now. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. Like, use me. But let me know it's coming down the line, though. It concerns me a little bit, but you don't have any concerns over that, man?
Not really, and you got to understand this. They're trying to push Mixer as well, and what would make Mixer, make more people get into Mixer is if you have a rehaul of Upload Studio. So therefore, you could have Mixer integrated with the Upload Studio.
Dude, I hear you, man. You know what I'm.
So people can do their videos and stuff off of Mixer. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, if the plan works of how I'm envisioning it and what I I'm thinking could happen is that, they really want to push Mixer. And in order to get people more on board, you got to you got to overhaul Upload Studio. So why not have Upload Studio be connected to Mixer and have all these extra things on there? And if you want to keep it going, add more templates, add more things to that. And like you just say, charge $1 or something like that. I think it would be great. And then if you could have people support your channel, then, hell, you're already making the money because people will pay for it for you.
Mega, I gotta say, man, that is an absolutely great idea, because one of the things when it comes to Mixer, like I've been thinking about making a video on this, right? We have this streaming service, integrated into our system. If they integrate, Upload Studio in with Mixer, imagine being able to, if you type your name or whatever like hashtag you want to, imagine if they had within your templates also overlays, so you'll be able to put an overlay like through your system onto your Mixer stream. Dude, how awesome would that be?
That would be sick, man. That would be sick. So I mean, I would hope. I mean, I don't have the mind of a person that has an engineering degree or do that shit and all that, whatever. But I mean, that's just common sense. I mean, you would think if you're going to go all out and keep Upload Studio, you would have to overhaul it. And if you want Mixer to grow, you want to implement everything that you have and to make it even more successful.
Nice, man. Nice. I gotta say, I like where you're coming from. I like your ideas. Xbox should definitely listen to K Mega a little bit more. Maybe, subscribe to his channel or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Come on now.
Yo, Dark, what do you think about, the game DVR and possibly, upgrading Upload Studio? Because like I said, I got a little concerned about this because I kind of figured, the game DVR, being that it's separate from Upload, I kind of figured that, us insiders would get these things at the same time to be able to kind of tinker and mess with them and, work out the bugs and stuff. Are you concerned that they're not going to upgrade Upload Studio? And what do you think about what they're doing with the game DVR, man?
No, I don't think they're going to just completely forget about Upload Studio and just be like, no, we're not going to update it. I think they almost kind of have to at this point. Because it's not
the games that they have for, except for like Minecraft. All the other games are old as shit. Like even kind of like the Dust Grenade type transition and intro and stuff. That's from like Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, I think.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, the whole thing with the game DVR and stuff like that, it's cool. It's it's whatever. To be honest, to me, I don't really get into too much of the, except for doing stuff for the podcast and stuff, but I don't really do much like recording my clips, being like, oh my god, dude, did you see that sick ass clip? No, I don't do that. I'm not that kind of person. I've never been that kind of person. I just don't really care about.
I'm gonna start sending you direct messages on Xbox Live saying, yo, dude, check out this clip. I kicked ass, man. Like I'm gonna drown you in my clips now. Yeah.
I mean, I'll appreciate them. I'll be like, oh, thanks, man. But it's something that I think they kind of need to do with upload it with Upload Studio. Just update that crap, man, because it's too old now. We need something that's at least somewhat faster and just give it a little tweak here and there, and I'm sure people will be happy with it, because they make too big of a tweak, then it's gonna be like, oh shit, it's too different.
Dude, if it wasn't for Upload Studio, like I don't know where my YouTube channel would be, because like the two biggest things when I started YouTube was Upload Studio and then my subscribers. Like those two right there. If it wasn't for them, I don't even know if I'd be on YouTube right now. So. Yeah. Dude, I would love for them to definitely upgrade. But Dark, what do you think about and Mega was throwing this out there. This was his idea. I don't think he heard anything in terms of integration, with Mixer and Upload Studio. But Dark, do you think that would be a good idea? Should Xbox like kind of put their ear up and listen to K Mega on this and possibly integrate those two together?
honestly, no one should really listen to K Mega.
Oh,
No, I mean, he's actually got a really good point there. Just kind of integrating the two and kind of, almost feeding off of each other, especially, with Mixer being, kind of the new thing to Xbox. I think it'll, definitely be something that could be utilized.
nice. Dude, I don't know, man. Yo, Mega got me excited like when he talked about that because, like I said, the one thing I've been talking about with Mixer, if they want to take it a step above, because YouTube or Google and Microsoft, they don't get along, which is why we don't have a YouTube streaming app, right? Basically Google gave us the bare essentials when it came to YouTube on the system. So why not go even above what they're doing on the PS4 side? And they have that little chat bar on the side, but why not Mixer let you kind of customize your own overlays directly from your console? And the best way to do that, in my opinion, would be integrating Upload Studio together with Mixer. Mega, I'm gonna be thinking about that all night now. Thank you, man. I really do appreciate that. But yo, Pred, what do you think about this game DVR? And do you share in my concerns with Upload Studio? Do you see where I'm saying? Where I thought they would kind of put this both out together so we can mess with it, tinker with it, report the bugs, everything like that. Do you feel that they are gonna upgrade Upload Studio, man?
I think they will. And I hate to kind of beat a dead horse, but what Mega was saying is exactly correct. They should kind of mix it in with Mixer. I don't really record a lot using Upload Studio. I use Elgato, but I could see going forward that I will probably start transitioning over because of what's going to be inside the X, the 4K capture and stuff like that. I'd rather capture it that way, and it's a lot simpler that way. I don't have to unplug this, and because I have I have every system out here known to man, but I only have one Elgato. So I have to keep moving it from place to place to get it to record capture and stuff like that, footage. So I will most likely, my Xbox footage, I want to record it in the best quality I can. If I can do it in 4K, I'm going to do it in 4K. So if they can somehow implement something with Mixer or just update, Upload Studio to something that's more usable, feasible for us to actually do stream video and content, stuff like that, it will be better for us gamers. Again, going back to what we were talking about earlier, it's just another notch for Microsoft looking out for the gamers, doing things that we want done for us streamers and stuff like that. So they spent all this money on Mixer. It would be a great asset for them to go ahead and kind of transition.
Yeah, definitely evolve it, man. If you spent all this money, it's got great tech in terms of latency and stuff like that when it comes to your streams. But evolve it, make it your own. Put together. You got assets here. You know what I'm saying? You can bring Upload Studio together with Mixer. Offer something that isn't offered on any console in terms of customization of your streams and stuff like that. That would be absolutely huge, in my opinion. That would make me stream through Mixer a lot more, because that's one of the things I love using my Elgato to put in kind of that overlay, to put my little my touch graphically on the style and stuff like that of my stream. And if they can integrate Mixer in with Upload Studio and give you that option to do so, I am all aboard for that, basically. Don, did you get to chime in on the whole Game DVR Upload Studio deal? If not, man, let me know. And if so, can you just refresh my memory?
No, I didn't chime in. I don't know if I have much to add to it. There's a lot of things.
You're a big Mixer fan anyway, man.
Yeah, I do like Mixer. I've had good luck with it. As far as all that's concerned, do I stream a lot? No, I don't. So I can't really say I'm a huge fan of streaming. Just in general, I just don't stream a whole lot. But there's a lot of things that are supposed to come out right around the X, right? New dashboard, new avatars, right? And we're talking about Upload Studios. I feel like something's going to fall by the wayside.
Don't you dare! Don't! Oh, go ahead, man.
But I mean, you see where I'm coming from. Yeah. There's a lot of things just kind of flowing up, and there's not a lot of huge commitment on certain things. You know what I mean? Outside of saying they're working on it, but they're not necessarily have a set date, right? Of when to expect it. So, do I think Upload Studios is getting an overhaul? I think it absolutely is. I do think it's part of the formula of Mixer. I don't know how much integration, but I'm pretty sure that's part of it. I'm also going to say avatars are going to be a big part of Upload Studios as well.
Really?
Yeah. Well, think about it. Like that's a whole identity. Like it has a whole aesthetic that looks just like Xbox, right?
See,
So
I still have my Kinect. Can you imagine if when I did my voiceovers, I could use my avatar like over in the corner and have it talk it out? That would be awesome, dude.
Yeah, that would be too.
Or just animated features overlay of the character over the video and stuff like that, or something where the avatar comes by and grabs the side of the screen and pulls it back, and then that's how you do a transition or stuff like that. Like I feel like it's all there's a reason why these are all being talked about around the same time, and I feel like there's a lot of things in the fire, and I don't really know what we're going to be getting outside of an official new dashboard when our Xbox One X releases. The rest of the stuff, like I have a feeling that things might get pushed back till next year. But when they do, they're going to be great. But I just feel like something's going to get pushed back. Something's going to suffer.
Oh man, you're my boy and everything, but I hate you right now just for that. Everything should be on schedule. We're going to get it all. When the X drops, man. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
We're gonna do it for the children. There's logic behind it, and you don't want it to happen, and I don't want it to happen either. But I also don't want half-baked stuff either. I want stuff to work properly, and I want things to do well. And honestly, like Upload Studios has to get an update. It's not set up for editing 4K video right now or HDR. Like it has, from just a code perspective, they have to update it. Okay. Otherwise, so it's inevitable. It's going to happen. The question is, what's the timing and when it's going to hit.
Nice. Well, I think that, all your points are valuable. I think that last one right there, where you said like how Upload, just on the code level is not ready for like the 4K and stuff like that. See, that shows me that there's a good chance it's going to be ready. I feel, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think they want that kind of ready to go, with the X and all that good stuff and the game.
It may be bare bones, and they may be doing updates to it just like they do the dashboard, right? Like we don't know what we're going to be getting. I'm excited.
I gotta get Snaps to talk to her friend Aaron Greenberg and see what's going on. Maybe he'll give her a little insight. I don't know, man. I don't use that avenue enough. I don't think, man. So I might have to call a favor here. But I really want, because I still use Upload for my gaming news videos, and one of the main reasons why, besides like the ease, is the perfect balance between the gameplay sound and the voiceover. Like, I hate adjusting it through the Elgato or OBS and whatnot. And Upload Studio gives me the perfect where, you can hear me and what I'm saying. You can also hear the gameplay in the background. It's not overpowering. I feel like Upload Studio has the perfect kind of like audio levels when it comes to the voiceover to the gameplay, and that's one of the main reasons why I still use Upload Studio, to do my gaming news videos and stuff like that on my channel. So,
don't get too excited, because we're gonna start sending you 4K video for next, and that's gonna cause all sorts of nightmares for you.
Don't complain about what I give you now.
It'll be
like
due.
3 gigs the other day.
It'll be due by Wednesday then instead of Friday.
Oh shit! I ain't never getting you.
Guys, I do have one more subject I want to touch on. It's actually in the title, so you guys have room for one more.
Yeah.
All right. Because I want to go in on Red Dead Redemption 2, because it seems that Rockstar came out with their kind of like financial report to the point where people are guesstimating that Red Dead Redemption 2 might actually be delayed again. Now, according to the financial report, there was nothing talked about Red Dead Redemption 2 in terms of this fiscal year coming, but that ends in March. And for people who know, it's been delayed until spring. So that gives what, April, May, and what, April, May, June, beginning of June, for the game to come out. Me personally, I don't see where it would scream delay, but with them talking within this financial report, they were using really broad strokes in terms of the time. They were talking within years and stuff like that. So there's people out there that are kind of concerned that like Red Dead Redemption 2 might actually be delayed again. So I believe Predator is the one who shared the article with us. I want to know what you think about this, man. Do you think it's going to be delayed again? Do you think if it is delayed again, will there be any outcry? Because usually when it comes to Rockstar, people are like, no, we're expecting 4 or 5 delays before it comes out. Kind of like when it comes to like Final Fantasy or something like that. People don't really expect it on that first kind of like release date, man. But what do you think, dude?
I think it'll probably get delayed since the fact that it wasn't inside their financial statements. Mm-hmm. And they're still doing well with their other games right now. So there's no rush to release this game right now. Because people want it. We've been waiting on it. It'd be like if Half-Life 3 was announced, even though like it's like a myth at this point. But if it was announced, it was coming out in, I don't know, November, and it got delayed to 2019. People will still wait for that game because they want it, and people want Red Dead Redemption 2. So any delays they make, most people are going to give it the good old pat on the back and take your time and make it right. So it's probably going to get delayed. Again, typical Rockstar fashion. They're going to delay it. You probably won't see it until maybe August, September next year.
I got you. I mean, me personally, I know they didn't talk about it, but like I said, it went to that end of that fiscal year, or even if it was the quarter, but whatever it was ending in March, and that, to me, that still leaves a window for spring. Shout out to Sobsky, who basically, this is a complete Sobsky comment when it comes to Red Dead Redemption. He's like, well, if it's delayed, basically, so be it, as long as it comes out. And I think a lot of people, there's a couple, development teams out there, that get kind of like that pass, and Rockstar is definitely one of them that, they can delay a game 5, 6, 7 times, but as long as it comes out, it's still going to sell. And I don't know. Them, of course, I believe Square, when it comes to like, Final Fantasy and stuff like that, people just expect it. Kingdom Hearts, nobody expects that game to even come out this generation. Kingdom Hearts 3 anymore. And they're like fine with it. So certain teams get a pass, but let's see. Yo, Don, what do you think, man? Do you think that Red Dead Redemption 2 will be delayed, and how do you feel if it is delayed, man?
I'm not a huge Rockstar fan, but
dude, I've been getting back into GTA Online, and dude, I am loving it again, yo.
Yeah, obviously they sell a lot, and they definitely appeal to a huge audience, and you know how to make a good game, right? But I don't think I can't honestly think of the history of Rockstar. I can't think of a single game that was released on time. So this is a little bit, par for the course for them. Mm-hmm. And they're perfectionists in regards to that, right? So, it's always a hard choice to delay a game, but the end result is the game gets more polished. It gets more of those addictive properties that people like about them, that sort of thing. I mean, we gave K-Mega a hard time for being the diva of the podcast, always being a little late. I think Rockstar will take the cake over K-Mega because they're always late on their games. But we get rewarded. Goodness. At the end of the day, we get rewarded, right? So, not with K-Mega, but the game.
K-Mega's response to that is just, my goodness. How are you going to bring that there? Oh, man. Yo, Mega, what do you think about Red Dead Redemption 2, man? First of all, did you read the article? And second of all, do you think there's some concern, or is there no concern because it's Rockstar?
No, it's no concern. I mean, especially this title is going to make a lot of money. This game is going to be just as big to me as 5, as GTA 5, because it's one of those games that's going to go forever, on and on and on and on. And as many good games that are coming out, I'm saying, I welcome some delays every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Jeez, you know what I'm saying? So and again, it's the same reason why I say, you know, people need to stop getting into this whole numbers game and start looking at assets and all this stuff. I know that we talk about it more and more, but it's actually ridiculous. These people know how the markets are, what's going on, what they're going to do. This game is not going to be. Trust me, this game is going to be on store shelves sometime. We don't know, but whenever it comes, it's going to come. And so it's not going to get canceled.
Yeah, it's not. So, it definitely won't get canceled.
So I mean, people just overreact just to, I don't know, make stories and stuff. I don't know. This is ridiculous to me. Actually, it's going to be all good.
To me, it doesn't make a difference. I'm not into cowboy stuff, and that's all due to my grandma. I think I told everybody, you know, who's checked out this show before. I know all my friends. When they talk about Red Dead, I'm like, nah, yo, my grandmother forced me into watching Rifleman and all that type of stuff growing up.
Red Dead is amazing. I can't wait for the game. I mean, that's one of my favorite.
Man.
That's my favorite. That's in my top 3 of my favorite games last gen. That game is amazing.
Oh shit! Man, it's so strange because Xbox wears chaps.
Assless.
Yo, chaps. I gotta say, I think Snap, like, I think she can just tell when her gameplay is going on the show, because she jumped into the chat like right before her gameplay came on, and I gotta say the first time around when this is Orcs Must Die Unchained, this game is a lot of fun to play. If you have a PS4, it is actually free. I definitely suggest people checking it out. It is a lot of fun. But like I said, I'm not really into cowboy stuff. I know this shit is gonna sell a ton. You know, there's a lot of actual Red Dead Redemption fans out there. So for you guys, that's why I wanted to really ask the panel, because I don't really have, you know, too much of an opinion on this, but I know you guys are very opinionated on some things that I just don't give two shits about. So
man, it's going to be a crowded, if they do release it on time, like how crowded is the first of the year? Like between January and E3, like it's super crowded.
Yeah, I think that
game is going to come.
I think that game's going to come at the end of next year. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
Holiday season, you think?
Yeah. It doesn't scream. It's too big of a title to come out to me in the first quarter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, you get income tax, but that Christmas money is what I think is bigger. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody get income tax. You know what I'm saying? So
That is a good point, man. That is a big title, and you would think that it would be a holiday title and really fly off the shelves even more, because people are trying to make their family members happy and stuff like that around that time. So that is a great point as well, yo.
Yeah, and also the theory is Sony's marketing is fucking it up and delaying it.
Ooh. Would you care to elaborate on that?
I'm just throwing that out there. There's no basis to it whatsoever.
Nope,
I'm just saying.
Well, and also I just think that why would it hurt to show Red Dead again at E3 to get everybody excited?
I was gonna say they didn't show it at E3 this past E3, man.
They don't usually ever have a big presence at E3. Period. Rockstar. They're not known for that, which is a little bit strange.
It's true.
Right now, they're known for shark cards in GTA 5, man. That's pretty much it. But like I said, I've been getting back into Grand Theft Auto Online. It's still a lot of fun. They've added so much content, man. I mean, it's still at its core is kind of like a grind for money to show shit off, but they have a lot of stuff to be able to show off, so it doesn't bother me so much. Yo, Adamus, what do you think about Red Dead Redemption 2? I think you might have something to say on this. Do you think it's gonna be delayed, and does it matter?
It's gonna be delayed.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter. Because Rockstar, take your fucking time with this game, okay?
My money.
We know it's gonna be great. Because I mean, I love westerns. I love cowboys and all that shit. I'm the opposite of you.
You're a cowboy right now.
You're one of those people. I got you.
You're over here eating slop right now.
It's better than the shit you eat.
Oh!
No.
What, steak and eggs? Really? Is that
that's what you're eating right now?
That's not what I heard.
I don't know. I think it's stupid. Anyway, go ahead.
Hold on. Yo, just from a standpoint, I know everybody has an opinion here, but Dark, you're on the West Coast where they eat like lightly sprinkled spinach wraps and stuff like that. You're talking to Mega that's going
In the
hardcore
South.
barbecue.
No, it's true.
Yeah, with
I mean,
barbecue and shit.
they make
yeah.
it
Basically, eat
Fucking pigs and shit.
Yeah, we're in the fattest part of the country, so you damn sure right we eat good out here.
we basically eat like two pieces of toast and some alfalfa sprouts on it.
Yeah,
and
I was
that's
gonna
about
say
it.
lightly sea salted alfalfa sprouts.
That's all I can say about that.
And you wonder why they put a whole stick of butter in their coffee.
Oh my
Y'all
god!
consider men not eating no meat? What the hell wrong? Bitch.
hey, I eat meat and
What kind of-
steak and all that stuff. Get out of here! Oh, give me none of that kinky winky
Hey,
bullshit.
tofu ain't no meat.
Winky.
Well, guys, on that note, unless
Oh my
anybody else wants to throw in on Red Dead Redemption, I think we've pretty much covered everything. I feel like we had a great show. Is there anybody else that got any final thoughts about Rockstar's up and coming Western?
No, only thing I can say is that Brian brought up a great point. He said we let Optimus slide on saying that he loved cowboys. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I don't know.
Well, tune in.
What's that old song that was in the 80s?
Rhinestone Cowboy.
No, there was
No, he went back.
Uptown Girls and whatever the hell that song went.
Oh.
Girls did it. I can see Optimus right there wearing some shit like that with a little cowboy hat dancing.
That's so stupid, man.
Well, I think people got to tune in next week when we really hear what Dark Optimus has to say about the Village people. And
Oh man,
Nice.
you know they're from
Oh, you
New
know how
York,
Wisconsin
so
is.
yeah, but I think eventually they decided that they were gonna pilgrimage over to the West Coast and go to their true home. Where
The butter coffee.
Well, I don't know about that.
But like I said, guys, I feel like we had a really good show. I know I had a lot of fun, but we can't end the show without doing, the plugs, where we are, where people could get a hold of us, all that good stuff. And since, he's been absent for a few weeks, I do want to start with our boy Predator. Yo, Pred, it has been a lot of fun getting back in and talking gaming with you again. I'm really happy that you're back. I'm glad that you get home cooking and stuff now. But why don't you let people know, where they could get a hold of you on Twitter and what is going on with your show that is supposed to be kind of like the head, the pregame before MNC mornings, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because me and Jay were talking, I think it was yesterday, day before yesterday. So he's working on some stuff for me right now. Right now, the plan is to debut my show October 1st, Sunday, October 1st, right before the Mooch and Crap show. It's about a 30 to 45-minute show. I'm calling it the Xbox Blitz. That's the name I'm going with right now. Anyway, I might change it. We're still working on some other stuff right now. But it's going to be a quick 30-minute show. I'll give myself an extra 15 minutes in case I run over. So basically, when Mooch and Crap starts, I stop and we move on to their show. It's like I said, it's a pregame for their show. So I got to get in touch. I haven't been able to get in touch with Crap yet. They're going to promote it for me a little bit as a pregame for their show. So that's coming October 1st. So I'll make an official announcement here outside of what I just did now here in a couple of days when I get done talking to Jay and get some graphics from him. So outside of that, Predator_HOS on Twitter, on Xbox, on PlayStation, on Steam, and God, I can never remember my Switch ID, but I don't much anyway, so it doesn't matter.
It's like a prison number. Your Switch ID.
Dude, yeah, right, for real.
ID,
Like, it's on my Twitter. If anyone wants to add me on there, again, I don't really play on it that much anyway. It's a dust collector. But I'm waiting for Mario, and that's about it. After that, I will probably be done with my Switch. So
I got you.
Oh, one more plug too. If you guys saw my tweet a couple of days ago, if you did not get an Xbox Scorpio edition and you're still looking to get one, and you're in the military, go to afees.com. They have a shitload of them available for you on there.
Nice. Great link right there to get in on that. If like you said, if you're in the military, you didn't get a chance to grab one or whatnot, they have some waiting for you. Yo, Pred, it has been a blast, man. I already can't wait to get into it again next Saturday with you and the rest of the panel. So it's great to have you back, dude.
Thanks, man.
And let's go next on the list. Let's should we hit up the scroll? No, we're gonna wait on the scroll. We'll hit up Dark Optimus real quick. Yo, Dark, I believe there's another podcast you're on, and I believe you're on certain social medias. So why don't
he has a second podcast? Y'all didn't hear about it?
No, what is it?
Oh, it's Cowboy Lovers.
Oh.
Okay, keep going.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
Man, his controller has chaps.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
It doesn't even have the rubber grips. It's just chaps.
Me liking westerns is never gonna let down, man.
No,
you guys are
that's-
just gonna keep going with it, aren't
that's
you?
another
It's
one,
gonna be
man.
great.
My question is, do you put the gaming headset over the 10-gallon hat or under it?
Oh man.
Do you put on your tinfoil hat every morning?
No, that's me. I have a tinfoil hat. I've actually fashioned it like a New Era fitted, and I drew the New York Mets symbol in the front. So that's what I wear.
So imagine what he just described with a Brumbo of knives on top of it, and that's pretty much bought.
Oh, okay.
But Dark, why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you? Let them know about the shows you're on, all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox Live, the same name. You can also catch me out on the Quest podcast every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
The
6 p.m.
originators of the
Pacific.
pregame, from what I hear.
I never said we were the originators of that shit. you just took that shit and ran with it. But yeah, man, you guys can check me out on there, and it's every Thursday. So just come along and listen to our show. It's pretty fun.
Yeah,
usually.
I definitely I tune in on Thursdays when I can. I gotta say, Dark Optimus is pretty good on the show. M. Baines is the absolute star, and Remix is meh. So,
Yeah, Remix is kind of like we just keep him around.
game share. Let's be honest, man. It's because you
No.
game share.
Everybody in that crew is great. We all pitch in and try to do something, with the podcast every week and stuff. So
Yeah, definitely. Yo, huge shout out to the Quest podcast. As well as I gotta say, there's like a webbing of podcasts. There's like so many connections going back and forth. You got Quest with Dark coming over here on next. And with that being said, let's get into K Mega's plugs, because he does have that scroll of them. And talk about connections. K Mega is pretty much connected to absolutely everybody, man. Why don't you let people know, dude?
Well, you know what I'm not connected to is sitting out on my porch with Cambodian yak milk as our boy in a thong like our boy Don. You know what I'm saying? In the mountains, in the mist, hit his frail body. You know what I'm saying? The thing of it. Regardless, man. Oh man, you can come and check me out on my channel, man. K Mega 405. You can also check our podcast. On every Friday night after Crossfire, the GRG podcast. Appreciate you guys' support on that as well. And man, catch me on BGST, the multiplayer. That's where things get really wild. They got real wild this past Thursday. Me and Puerto Rock, man, we made Puerto Rock start screaming. His wife came out. Like, what the hell's going on?
Oh,
even more wild than GRG that one time when I was on it.
This was wild, man. It was.
Damn, you said his wife came out, so people actually realize who wears the pants in that house, right?
Absolutely. It was what people been wanting, the K Mega Puerto Rock Battle Royal, and then it was just getting funny, and then he was just yelling, and I was like, oh shit, it's fun now. And then it was stupid, but we had a lot of fun, and nobody hates each other on there. We just get wild, you know what I'm saying? It's true fanboy craziness on the multiplayer. And then of course here, man. So appreciate you guys checking us out tonight. Thank you.
Oh, and one more thing, Mega.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, big shout out to Intro Media Gaming, man. Golly, 100, man. He gonna cuss me out, man, when I get back from watching this stupid ass clown. And you know what? I don't care if I can't say your name right. UK Darius, Dizard. I don't care. I don't care, damn it. Much love to UK, man.
Nice. Yeah, UK is my moderator of the year. I'm actually
Yes.
I'm thinking about doing something on my channel. I might announce it later on this week in terms of moderators and putting in hard work on my channel. So guys, definitely stay tuned for that. But we gotta go to that chinchilla wearing fool. The Don, man. Where can people get a hold of you? What have you been up to? Happy little polygons. Any new content there, man?
Oh man, things have all been postponed because of contract negotiations and talks and stuff like that.
Because of smoked sausages.
Yeah, nothing like that. Yeah, according to King Mega, I'm wearing a chinchilla and have a yak milk mustache or whatever on my porch.
Off the rights, fresh off the teat. That's exactly what it is. Cambodian yak milk,
lukewarm, right? So, anyways, so everything's been put on hold because I don't know what I can or can't upload in regards to all that sort of stuff. So they kind of want me to go dark on some of that stuff. So I'm going to try to respect the wishes and not mess up a good opportunity. Mm-hmm. But I think things that I reject or kind of hit the cutting room floor, I'll still post those on Happy Little Polygons. I just have to figure out the logistics of it. It's making it sound more complicated than it needs to be, but basically I just can't.
Yeah, you already lost me at it's, and I was just okay, got you.
Yeah, they basically just can't post crap. But the best way to follow me is click on the link below. It's the Don _KTR for Twitter, and then it's pretty much the same thing for Xbox, but no underscore. So
nice. And guys, I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody who checked out the show live today. Of course, the moderator of the year, UK Dazarus, Dirty J, Stick Figured, Lethal Papa, Jago, and everybody else. You guys are absolutely tremendous. The chat was fire. I love seeing you guys come together. First of all, listen to us talk about our opinions on gaming news, but then seeing your opinions in the chat and just seeing you guys have a lot of fun. And of course, Siberia as well. You guys are absolutely amazing. As usual, I keep everything simple. Follow me on Twitter. It's at Xbot448. So this way you know all the shows I'm on, all that good stuff, affiliations and whatnot. But I know the gamers got a game. It is Saturday night. You want to get the controller in your hand. I know I do. I got some work to do in that game. What's it called? Destiny 2. Yeah, I got some work I got to do on that, guys. So I'm going to end the show like I end every Saturday. We will check you out next Saturday on the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Peace. Pray for me for watching this clown tonight.
Hey, wait. There's a second Destiny?
Oh.